industries of hate. I just don't wanna be killed by an AI. Oh, I like the fields, I like the grass and sea and the sky. I don't like the grim idea of being killed by AI. Oh, I like the country roads, I like going for a drive. But I don't fancy the idea of being killed by AI. I don't wanna be killed by a machine. I don't wanna die to AI. I don't wanna be jumped up by industries of hate. I just don't wanna be killed by an AI. Oh, I like a simple life. Leave all cares behind. But I don't like the feeling of being watched by AI. Oh, I like a cake or two, sometimes a cherry pie. But I can't shake the feeling of being watched by AI. I don't wanna be killed by a machine. I don't wanna die to AI. I don't wanna be jumped up by industries of hate. I just don't wanna be killed by an AI. I don't wanna be killed by a machine. I don't wanna die to AI. I don't wanna be jumped up by industries of hate. I just don't wanna be killed by an AI. I don't wanna be killed by a machine. I don't wanna die to AI. I don't wanna be jumped up by industries of hate. I just don't wanna be killed by an AI. Oh, I like the fields, I like the grass and sea and the sky. I don't like the grim idea of being killed by AI. Oh, I like the country roads, I like going for a drive. But I don't fancy the idea of being killed by AI. I don't wanna be killed by a machine. I don't wanna die to AI. I don't wanna be jumped up by industries of hate. I just don't wanna be killed by an AI. Oh, I like a simple life. Leave all cares behind. But I don't like the feeling of being watched by AI. Oh, I like a cake or two, sometimes a cherry pie. But I can't shake the feeling of being watched by AI. machine. I don't wanna die to AI. I don't wanna be jumped up by industries of hate. I just don't
wanna be killed by an AI. Hi, you're with Super Chuffer. It's midnight. It's always midnight. This is your right ear and your left ear. I think it's in mono. 1, 2, check Chuffy 1, 2. You should be able to hear me talking. And tonight for the stream, hi you in chat. Big ups you in chat. We've got a bit of an interactive one. You can do some talking. You can do a little bit of talking. If you're new, you have to wait for 10 minutes before you can do your talking. So get your subscription in now. Big ups Midas, big ups Blank Faces, big ups Dover and Dolly's mom, big ups Peggy. You're all on your ats today. It's YouTube doing its thing. And we had a thing last week where some people couldn't get their chat messages through, and it was happening all over YouTube. So, you know, but I think it should be all right. Tonight, what I've got for you is I've got this like proper lowdown from the high ground about autonomous weapon systems and mass surveillance. It's really cheerful stuff. Get yourself a cup of coffee, cup of tea. Not coffee at this time of night, cup of tea. Nice cup of tea and cherry pies. And what we're going to do is I've got some pictures that I'm going to put up. I'm going to show you the picture of the thing. I'm going to talk you through the mass surveillance and the weapons stuff from the AI. And we're going to say this side over here is like utopian future stuff. Oh, that's nice. Look, that's nice. All big green trees and people are walking around. They're having a nice time. And there are drones, but they're making the world nice. So that sounds nice. On the other side, we've got the bad. Oh, I don't like the look of that. Look, it's all grey and concrete. The people are all dressed dowdy. And the drones seem quite malicious, actually. Wouldn't like one of them to be landing on my head. So, the pictures are there. I'll show you the things. This is all in context because, of course, there's a war on. Isn't there? Big war on now. Big war. How do you feel about the war? You up for the war? Get them bombed. Get them bombed. Who? Just get them bombed. It doesn't matter who. Get those bombs. Get them bombed. Get them bombed. Get them bombed. But there is a war going on. It's sad for some people that are getting bombed. But the bad people that are getting bombed, that's supposedly good, I suppose. I don't know. You know, give me your opinions. But because there's a war on, what's happened recently, I say recently, just like the other day, basically. Look, there's the Super Chuffer channel. You're watching it now. This Chuffer, I don't know if you know who this Chuffer is. He's the Anthropic CEO. So there's these big AI companies. They've got their big AI machines, and at the moment they're not machines like Terminators. They're computers that do talking, aren't they? You know, you've been talking to ChatGPT. Do you know what I mean? They're computers that do talking. Some of these chuffers run the big companies. You've got Elon Musk with his XAI and Grok. You've got this chuffer and his mates with Anthropic, which is essentially a ChatGPT called Claude, and you've got ChatGPT run by Sam Altman, and then you've got one by Google, and you've got, I think, Meta have got one, haven't they? A big AI from Meta, from Facebook, from Zuckerberg. So you've got these different people, these different big companies, and there's a couple in China as well. China. So yeah, we've done a war. Oops, we've done a war. I should get a t-shirt. I've done a war. The big AI companies, what's happened is because of this war that's going on, America have basically said, right now, and I'm really going to simplify this, but America basically said, there's a war on, so we can leverage this. When there's a war on, we can use technology for the war effort. So, you know, back in the day in the Second World War, in the old UK when we won the war, well, when we won in the war, like Uncle Albert, back in the war, from Only Fools and Horses, in the war, if you remember, what they did was they commandeered all the factories, and like, you know, if you were making tins of beans, you could probably still make tins of beans actually, because people needed them, but if you were making, I don't know, tin whistles, maybe they didn't need the tin whistles, but they needed guns, they needed bombs, stuff like that, ammunition. So they commandeered factories that would make other goods and services, and they turned them into war effort stuff, didn't they? And that was kind of good, because you're like, basically, if you run a business and there's a war on, and you're in the country and there's a war on, you can accept that the government are going to sort of commandeer your business a bit to win the war, because your future's at stake. It's the safety of the world. So, like, basically, America have said, right, we're going to be using these AI systems in the war. We're going to be using the AI systems in the war, and that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to show you the different systems and what's going on and what could be going on. We're going to use the AI systems in the war, but you're going to have to sign over for the company to be used in the war, aren't you? And a lot of them were like, that's all right, don't worry about it. Grok AI, if you watch my Elon Musk video, which of course you have done already. What is it good for? Absolutely. Well, the oil, it's good for the oil, isn't it? It's not war. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Well, it's good for raising oil prices if you want to manipulate the stock markets. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Well, it's good for if you make loads of bombs, and like one of your main like industries is the defense industry, isn't it? And you pump a load of money into making guns and bombs. You want to set them all off, drop them all somewhere so you can make a load of new ones. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Well, it's like if you politically, like Donald Trump was quoted a few years back as saying that Obama's going to start a war with Iran because he's failing political power and it's going to bump his political numbers or whatever. Like, it could be political, couldn't it? Hang on, where's my button? What is it good for? Absolutely. Well, sort of some things, if there's bad people and you want to get rid of them, but you don't want to have to like put them through the court and decide why they're bad and tell everyone and sort it out, you could just drop a massive bomb on them. What is it good for? Regime change. Actually, regime change, but not the regime in Iran. The regime change that's going on isn't like, oh, let's set up we're going to knock off the bad chuffers at the top and then let the people decide, because they've got their own government that's, they've got their own ideas, they've got their own like rebels, but a lot of those rebels have already been killed because we didn't sort of back them when they did the last attempt at revolution, did we? We just sort of let them get murdered. So maybe we want to blow up some of the rebels as well, and then we can blow up the current government, and we can blow up the rebels that might replace them. Then there's like a power vacuum. What is it good for? Regime change. And we could put our own, like we can subvert we've got all the power. We're going to talk about it tonight. We're going to talk about AI systems and like not just the talking and the words and the texts and the X posts, but Twitter. But we're also going to talk about like the weapon systems. What is it good for? Selling weapon systems. What is it good for? Some stuff, depending on your perspective, maybe. And this guy's perspective is different though, because he's like, I don't want my AI to be used for spying on the people of America. So there was a sort of a row broke out in media terms. When the media, I'm the media, look, way, I'm on the media. I'm on the podcast. Mom, I'm on the podcast. What does chuffer mean? It's like I'm chuffing now, I'm talking, I'm waffling, super chuffer. It's just like everyone's got to have a cool nickname on the internet. My name's Scott, so you can call me Scott. Everyone's channel's got to have a cool name. I was called Gravekipper for a bit. I think Gravekipper's still quite a cool name, but a bit morbid, so this one just sort of stuck. You just have a cool name, haven't you? The AI row broke out. We don't want our systems used in the war, but most people were all right with it. Grok AI, if you watch my Elon Musk video, Grok AI is now integrated into Pentagon systems, so they're okay with it. There's Palantir used artificial intelligence for targeting people in Gaza. They managed to target a load of people in hospitals, didn't they? And we're going to go through some of that tonight. Okay, so I need to get to it, but let's have this guy explain, because this is like the setup. This is an interview with the CEO from Anthropic, big AI company, explaining what the problems he had with handing over and signing over his AI tools to the American government this week because of the war.
Told us that they have agreed in principle to these two restrictions, and they wanted to strike a deal. Why couldn't an agreement be reached?
So there were, there were kind of several stages of this, all done quickly and kind of all, determined by the kind of 3-day, the kind of very limited 3-day window that they gave us, right? They gave us an ultimatum to agree to their terms in 3 days, or be designated a supply chain risk or Defense Production Act. I guess we'll get to that later. But during that time, there were a few back and forths. At one point they sent us language that appeared on the surface to meet our terms, but it had all kinds of language like if the Pentagon deems it appropriate, or or to do anything in line with laws. So it didn't actually concede in any meaningful way. And there were further steps of it that also did not concede in any meaningful way. We have wanted to strike a deal since the beginning. If you want to get a sense of the Pentagon's position of it, the Pentagon spokesman, Sean Parnell, the day before, he reiterated their position: we only allow all lawful use. And this was the same as when they sent us their terms. So they have not exceeded and they have not in any way agreed to our exceptions in any meaningful way.
The president posted today in response to the situation their selfishness, referring to Anthropic.
What are these exceptions?
We were the first company to put our models on the classified cloud like this, and the reason we've done this is as we defend ourselves against our autocratic adversaries, we have to do so in ways that defend our democratic values and preserve our democratic values. And so we have said to the Department of War that we are okay with all use cases, basically 98 or 99% of the use cases they want to do, except for two that we're concerned about. One is domestic mass surveillance. There, we're worried that things may become possible with AI that weren't possible before. An example of this is something like taking data collected by private firms, having it bought by the government, and analyzing it en masse via AI. That actually isn't illegal. It was just never useful before the era of AI. So there's this way in which domestic mass surveillance is getting ahead of the law. The technology is advancing so fast that it's out of step with the law. That's case number one. Case number two is fully autonomous weapons. This is not the partially autonomous weapons that are used in Ukraine or could potentially be used in Taiwan today. This is the idea of making weapons that fire without any human involvement. Mm-hmm. Now, even those, I think that our adversaries may at some point have them. So perhaps they may at some point be needed for the defense of democracy. But we have some concerns about them. First, the AI systems of today are nowhere near reliable enough to make fully autonomous weapons. Anyone who's worked with AI models understands that there's a basic unpredictability to them that in a purely technical way we have not solved. And there's an oversight question too. If you have a large army of drones or robots that can operate without any human oversight, where there aren't human soldiers to make the decisions about who to target, who to shoot at, that presents concerns. And we need to have a conversation about how that's overseen. And we haven't had that conversation yet. And so we feel strongly that, for those two use cases should not be allowed.
Seems quite fair enough though, doesn't it? Like, we want to let you use the AI to target the bad people in other countries and other things, which you're going to talk about tonight. It's not just targeting, other things. But we don't want an army of superhuman AI drone robots indiscriminately and irrationally killing people because they've gone a bit wrong. And we don't want them surveilling. Like, he's talking about America there because he's like, America focused. But we're in the West, aren't we? I'm in Great Britain. Good old Britain. Bovril. And sorry. And we don't want it here either, do we? Like, you don't really want to be surveilled down the high street. You've already got it where you're being watched in the shops and you're being face scanned as you go in and you're face scanned where you go and all that sort of stuff. We're going to talk about that sort of stuff as well. So he wants to talk about it. It's not the really important through line here that I should draw out early as well is that this is not about stuff that could happen maybe. This is not, we're not just talking about stuff that, is like a sci-fi future. Like, we're talking about stuff that is happening right now. And then we're going to talk about some stuff that's a bit sci-fi future, but we're talking about stuff that is actually happening right now. So it's a little bit scary. Don't want to scare you. Don't want you to be scared, but let's just have a chit chat about what's going on in the world in the seemingly out of control, increasing pace, making me feel like I'm out of touch and can't keep up world. Yeah, I just need my cup of tea, my cherries. I'll be all right. So I've got some pictures, and of course I've done a really good job here because Right, first of all, you can't see them. So that's bad. You're going to want to be able to see them. Where are my pictures? Okay, they're below image 7 and 8 here. Look, watch. There's pictures, but they're in order. They're not the right order, obviously. I don't know which one's supposed to be for what. This is A1, drone swarms. We're going to go through. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's a stream. I'm going to waffle. You're going to have opinions. We're going to talk about them. I'm going to read from the script that I've prepared with the help of AI. And I've got the pictures that I prepared. These are not real pictures. They're AI pictures. So they don't actually represent real things that are actually happening. But they do actually represent real things that are sort of happening. So we'll go through. Okay, we'll go through. So I think this is the first one. This is image drone swarms, yeah? Drone swarms. And what we'll do is we'll decide which side of the pictures, which side of the side you want it to go on, whether you think it's a possible lovely green utopia future where things are going to be fine and the AI is working for us to keep order, establish a, like in utopia, like it's all going to be nice and it's going to be good, and the machines are going to be sort of helping us for all this. Like Elon Musk says, there's going to be abundance, doesn't he? We're going to have like forever abundance, and turned off the wrong thing there. We're going to have like abundance forever, and everything's going to be great. So, is this drone swarms going to go on this side of like the green wonderful utopia future, or is it going to maybe go on this side of the bad future where we're subjugated by machines, and even to the point where we're unnecessary and like maybe we just get nuked off? So start at the sharp end. Drone swarms are not future technology. They're happening right now, today in Ukraine, where approximately 9,000 drones are being deployed every single day. What makes the new generation different from the remote-controlled FPV drones is that they've dominated the headlines with their autonomy. These systems communicate peer-to-peer. They can talk to each other, the drones, like they can operate en masse. They adapt when individual units are destroyed. They coordinate without a central controller, and increasingly they do it without a human making the specific decisions. Ukraine's Swarmer company has over 100 documented combat deployments. Auterion is shipping more than 33,000 AI strike kits to Ukraine under a Pentagon contract. A small company called The Fourth Law sells AI targeting modules for $70 that take a drone strike accuracy from around 20% to 80%. The Pentagon's Replicator program is spending $500 million in a single financial year specifically to mass produce low-cost autonomous swarms. Elon Musk's xAI and SpaceX entered a $100 million Pentagon contest in 2025, just recently, to develop voice-controlled drone swarms. So you speak a command and the AI translates it into coordinated autonomous drone action. Quite good, actually, if you're in the army, isn't it? If you're in the control center, you've got your headset on and you're just like, oh, go and get him, look. That chuffer with the fire, go that chuffer over there. Swarm them. It's like video game stuff, but you don't need the controller. You just speak a command and the drones translate it into autonomous action. China, at the Beihang University, used DeepSeek AI to assess 10,000 battlefield scenarios in 48 seconds. The same task would take human planning teams 48 hours. So, on the dystopia rating, where would you want to put this? Is this a good thing? Or a bad thing? Is this a good thing or a bad thing? The surveillance we're going to get to, yeah. We're going to go through the war first. War. It's the war machines first. All right, you've got to consider, right, that this is being used in Ukraine and we're the goodies and we want Ukraine to win against Russia, don't we? Like, it's been going on a bloody long time, hasn't it? Seems like, to me, well, don't get me started. It seems like quite a straightforward thing. You get back over that line. There's the fucking line. Give that back. That's not yours. If you want it, you can either share or no one can have it. Get back over that line. There's the line. The line's been there. Get back over the line. Right, I know you're having your squabble. We're here now. Get back over the line. No one's firing any drones. No one's bombing any rockets. Get back over the line. It's not up to me. Elon Musk's brother owns a drone factory. So what do you think? Where do you want it? Left-hand side, right-hand side, higher or lower? Top, middle or bottom? You got to tell me in chat. You don't have to tell me. I can make a decision for myself. It's fine. I think it's quite bad. The dystopian rating is quite bad. I'll tell you why. It's not a future could be possibly. It's actually happening right now. Like, they're already unleashing these things, and it's scaling. And the question here is, like the discussion point, like that man said, is that the human's final decision to kill is being taken out of the equation. Once you set off a drone swarm and you say, I don't know, defend this location. Yeah, that's quite a simple one, isn't it? That's quite fair enough. Defend this location. For example, the air bases out in Iraq or whatever, in Iran, out in where they're bombing. Defend the air bases. And then the drones just swarm around and kill people who go near it. That guy was innocent. Was he? How do you know? We can't really tell. He's dead now. They're all apparently all men at war. I'm being quite sexist. That lady was innocent. How do you know it's a lady? I don't know. Can't tell. She's dead now. So they're making decisions, and then the problem is that you can't sort of like prosecute someone for that decision. Like, who was the one that was responsible for the drone doing what it did? Especially when you're running thousands of them. Like, if you're in an army situation and you shoot someone, shot them, they're dead, then you can sort of say, this person shot them, they were told to do it by their superior officer, they're given them the order by here, this is the chain of command, this is what happened, we can sort it all out if there was a mistake made. But if there's a mistake made here, or like, who's going to take the rap? Who's going to take the rap? I think it's going on this side anyway. I'm going to put it on bad, like scary, scary bad. I think. Although, like, there could be applications for positive, like I said, defend this situation, make sure that plants are watered or something. Could be. Okay, next. Project Maven, an AI kill chain automation. Project Maven was launched by the Pentagon in 2017 with a straightforward goal. Okay, so I need a picture for Project Maven, an AI kill chain automation. I've got a picture for it, but I can't remember what it looks like. It's not that one, is it? It's not that one. That's nukes, I think. That's something in your house. That's swarms, bad swarms. Could it be that one? Genetics. Oh, I should have labelled these better. If I got a kill chain automation I'm looking for. That's coming up later. That's surveillance, look. It might be this one. Should we do this one? It could be this one. Project Maven was launched by the Pentagon in 2017 with a straightforward goal. Use AI to automatically detect, tag and track objects and humans from surveillance footage. Google was the original contractor. Then Google's own employees found out and revolted publicly and forced the company to withdraw in 2018. Since then, the program hasn't slowed down. It accelerated dramatically. The current contractor is Palantir, someone that we need to talk about on this channel a little bit more, whose Maven Smart system has now over 20,000 active users across every major US combatant command. NATO's Allied Command Operations and the Marine Corps, across every major US combatant command, NATO's Allied Command Operations and the Marine Corps. The contract ceiling was raised to $1.3 billion through 2019. The system fuses satellite imagery, geolocation data, communications intercepts and infrared sensors into a single interface that suggests strike targets. It's been used to support airstrikes in Iraq, Syria and Yemen, and has provided intelligence that Ukraine used to strike Russian targets. The Army's stated goal is 1,000 high-quality targeting decisions an hour. 1,000 targeting decisions an hour. Like, no human being can meaningfully review 1,000 AI-generated kill recommendations every hour. They're rubber stamping them at machine speed. And the detail that should be the big worry, even Anthropic, the one that said they didn't want to be in it, Claude AI is confirmed to be integrated into the pipeline, running on Amazon Web Services, the very company that was banned from Pentagon classified contracts for refusing to allow Claude to become an autonomous weapon system, their AI is already in the kill fire chain. It's not a contradiction. It's a warning about how these things develop, apparently. Thank you, Red Fan. Do you want to hear a button? A button.
Hit you with that do-do-do-do.
Haven't got a button for AI is going to kill us all, although maybe I should.
Cheeseburger challenges.
Thank you very much for the gifted memberships. Thank you. Memberships keep this channel going and help me with the sustainability so that I can keep producing. Thank you very much. If you enjoy what you're watching and you want to contribute monthly, get your little membership in. Get your membership in. Get your member. You get you. And thank you very much to the members who exist currently. Thank you. 1,000 kills an hour. 1,000 targets an hour. And this is the system that we're talking about that's already in operation. So when we're talking about AI systems, we're not just talking about flying machines, we're not just talking about Terminators, we're talking about the strategic decisions. So on the positive, there are enemies, aren't there, out there in the world? There are bad chuffers. Like when they were looking for Osama bin Laden, it was tough for them to find him, was it? I should have thought they knew where he was. It's tough for them to find him. Saddam Hussein went on the run. They found him in a hole. They wouldn't have to look so hard if they had this system running, because it knows about everyone and what they're doing, and it's surveilling, and it's got all the different things putting together. It hasn't just got like satellites and cameras, but it's also got different like data intercepts, communications. It's got infrared sensors. It's taking all different information, geography, geolocation. It's taking all this different information in much, much quicker and much more sophisticated than a human could. And it's giving targets. I think he's in these mountains. I think he's in this hotel in Dubai. And then 1,000 an hour can be churned out. Oh, we've got military targets. They're all running around. What we normally would have to do is sit in operations rooms with high-powered thought processes, doing our, people doing it. Don't have to do that anymore. The people just have a big list of 1,000 an hour that they've just got to go through. They can't get through 1,000 an hour. It's quite a lot. They just got to press yes or no, I guess, on a bomb or no bomb, deal or no deal. Do you want to bomb him or her? Do you want to bomb that school? In Gaza, it was used, and a lot of the targets turned out to be children. So the AI either is sophisticated enough to spot future trends in demographics, or I don't know. But it seemed bad, actually, didn't it? It seemed bad. But yeah, so maybe it's bad if it's going to target children in hospitals and things like that. Maybe it's good if the bad people are in the hospital. Good or bad? What do you think? Hello, Peggy. I've done some work on the flat earth people. I don't agree with that. I think that flat earth is a load of nonsense, and I think it's a conspiracy theory that's designed to sort of collect up people who would like there to be different interesting answers and to confuse and delude them. And it's actually underpinned by some quite right-wing ideas. There's some quite right-wing people involved. Like in any stage where people are trying to delude and confuse and lead people down a bit of a rabbit hole path of conspiracy, it used to be that in the early days of the internet, you could say that before the internet, in the early days, there was some legitimacy to some stuff. There is still legitimacy to some stuff, but what I'm trying to say is people are aware of how, first, by confusing and dragging people down a strange rabbit hole, they can then manipulate and use them. Like, there's a lot of that goes on. So I think the flat earth stuff is one of those. And I've got content about it, mainly about the Tartaria stuff, but it's covered, through some of that. And I'm not trying to be like mean about it. Like, I'm not, stupid. I think there are quite sophisticated manipulation techniques at foot there. Quite sophisticated, not very, but quite. And they do work on people, and, we all fall down little rabbit holes, and it's about being able to, it takes you away from being able to rely on valid information, and it makes you rely on unreliable people. So, you're quite welcome to, it's not. I don't need to watch Rocket. I won't be going into that now, and I'm not going to tolerate promotion of flat earth content in the chat either. So you've been told now, do not promote flat earth content in the chat or I'll just remove it and you. Because you can go and look at the flat earth content. It's on the channel, but I'm not down with that. So this is not a place to advertise it. You as a person, you're fine. But that set of ideas, I'm not fine. So yeah, we're saying that this there's a telescope in Chile meant to detect changes in space. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Maybe it's talking about satellites. Are we saying this is bad? What I would like to hear from you from you in chat is whether you think that targeting, sophisticated AI targeting, weapons targeting systems that can target thousands of people an hour during a war situation and then set off the bombs, set off the rockets, whether that's a good thing because it leads to a utopian future where everyone's happy and we're having a good time, or whether you think it's a bad thing because it could lead to one of those futures where you're scared in your house because a drone might target you. Good thing or a bad thing? That's what I'm looking for in chat, really. Good thing, bad thing. If you won't decide quickly, then I will decide for you. I'll put it over here. I mean, I think it's got applications. It could lead to some positives, like, you know, bad people don't get away with some stuff. We're going to come on to the policing in a little bit, but I think it's probably a bad thing. Yeah, I think it's probably a bad thing. I'll probably go with bad thing because when it's out of control, one of the things we looked at with the Elon Musk video was that like one of the problems Elon Musk's systems had was regulation. He doesn't want there to be regulation. He wants to be able to operate without it, but without it, it can get out of control. And you had people making naked pictures of people. You had it doing Mecha Hitler. Like, that was just on a social media platform. What if it was running the weapon systems? Like, already you would have had 2 or 3 very serious incidents, and I don't know what would have happened with them, but, you know, if something could go as wrong as to become Mecha Hitler, like that could go quite wrong. So yeah, quite bad. And also, what it's already been proven to do in Gaza, I think, constitutes war crimes. A3, number 3, loitering munitions. Okay, I think I know what picture I wanted for this. I just got to find the bugger. I have got it though. That's probably that. No, that was a missile. I got another one. It looks similar. Look very similar. They do look similar, these things though. If I don't find it, then just use the missile. Should enable these in better. Look, there we go. That's it. Okay, loitering munitions. Loitering munitions, sometimes called suicide drones, and that name tells you what you need to know. They're launched into an area. They circle autonomously for hours. They identify a target and they dive into it. Unlike a cruise missile, they can abort, reassess, and re-engage. Unlike a conventional bomb, they can wait. Israel's Harop automatically homes on radar emissions. The radar turns on, the Harop finds it. The American Hellhound was launched in 2025, explicitly designed for AI-enabled rapid strike deployment. Russia's Kubla, has been used in Ukraine. The entry on this list that matters most historically is Turkey's Kargu, used in Libya in 2020. The UN panel of experts reviewing the conflict noted the Kargu system, which uses AI to identify and engage targets, may have operated against human targets without requiring data connectivity between the operator and the munition. So in plain English, it decided to kill someone on its own. No human giving the order. The UN documented this not as speculation, but as a plausible account of what happened in the field. So this is not a future scenario. This is already and in the past done and becoming normalised. The legal implications haven't been resolved. The accountability gap has not been closed. You send one of these up, you leave it running, you come back and it's killed someone who's at fault. I mean, maybe it's not a fault, maybe it's a good thing that it did it. The production of these systems is accelerating across every major arms producing nation on Earth. So the future of war is now. And now this thing flies around. It's not an accurate representation, this is. It's just an AI picture. The drone flies around up in the air. Yeah? Flies around up in the air. And it's just hovering about. And when it decides, hang on, this isn't, I don't like the look of this, that's not, or there's a target, it just goes for it. At the moment, we don't have that on our. This is for war, isn't it? Like, this is for war. We've got it out there in the field of war, so it could be a good thing, couldn't it? Like, you know, out there in the bad countries where the bad things are happening in the war, we could just send a load of these out, and then everyone's under the cosh the whole time. Yeah, don't put a foot wrong, because the thing will fall out the sky on your head and kill you. Don't put, you know, like, even when the war stopped, we could probably leave them up in the sky, couldn't we? For a bit, maybe. I'm being sarcastic. Like, but you basically. You know, the threat is ever present then, yeah? And then they can decide they need to go home or take a break or refuel, or, you know, they can go to a different area. They can be operated, of course, by voice control in an office somewhere as swarms, or we've seen. So they could be automatically targeting with these systems, thousands of them, just hovering about. And if something happened, like if someone raised an alarm or, you know, lockdown, quick, and everyone better get home, otherwise the things start falling out the sky and all the bad people. Could just operate quite a strict authoritarian control system with one of them, or thousands of them in the sky, couldn't you? I've not been shadow banned, no. Thanks. A couple of my recent streams and content have been demonetized because, like, the one I did about the Epstein fellow, Epstein's friend, or whatever I don't know, don't want to get into it too much, do I? But a couple of those have not hit the monetization limit, so YouTube won't be pushing them around. But if you look at the Elon Musk video, which is quite recent, that's done quite well. So, no, I've not been shadow banned. It's just my momentum. I need to re-establish myself with increased momentum. So if you're enjoying this, then just enjoy it. Just watch it. Give it a like. Press like. So what do you think about this, though? Is this going to be a good thing for our future? Like, we didn't have this growing up, did we? We didn't have, like... And this... Currently, it's a war system. I'm not saying it's going to be used as a policing system, but... You know, the eye in the sky that can also fly down and kill you at any time. That, if you've got a problem country that you're having a problem with... Yeah, just fucking loads of these all in the sky. Everyone better behave. What if you're the government and you want everyone to behave? It's like a normal drone swarm, but it combines the two things. So if a drone swarm's bad and a self-targeter's bad, this is probably quite bad as well, isn't it? I think is having self-targeting, like ever-present hovering drones that just stay up in the sky. And then when they fancy it, when they feel like it, when they think there's a reason to do it, they just fly down and kill people. I think that seems pretty fucking scary. Again, it's something that's already happened and is happening. That's not something that we're worried about in the future. That's happened now. It's already happening. Autonomous ground combat robots next. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. This is proper now. This is a good one. You'll like this one. Or, I don't know. Got to find the bloody picture. You'll enjoy me finding the picture every time. It's like part of it now. It's like part of it. Oh, it's got to be further down on the list. Oh, no. There's like 40 of these pictures. I should remember where they are, shouldn't I? I've already looked at these in the list. It's the what? This one looks like a dog robot. That's a weapon. If I can't find... There, yes. Oh, look at them. These would be good, won't they? With the... I mean, they might not make them look as scary and sci-fi as I've done. Well, they might, actually. They might. You know what? With the AI robots in the future, now, with the AI robots, you see a lot of them walking around looking like humans. Oh, we're going to try and make them have hands. We need the hands so they can milk cows or pour you a Guinness, or, like, you know, we need hands. They're trying to sell it to you like it's going to be good for you, like you're going to enjoy it. Yeah? Like, yeah, we need the hands for your help your life. And then, but actually what it's going to be is they don't need hands. Like, if they make them in sort of dog form or like other form, like they maybe can go around quicker. You know how drones can fly? they've got like, we don't fly. They don't have to be built like a human. Like social control robots or autonomous ground combat robots, they can just be whatever. And when you see a humanoid robot walking along, suddenly fall to the floor and scuttle along like a spider, going faster than you can walk on its 5 legs, you're going to be like, what? It only has 4 legs. It's got 2 arms and 2 legs. Yeah, what's that thing in the middle? It's a charging socket. All right, look, the future combat dogs. I'm laughing about this. When most people imagine killer robots, this is what they picture, and the uncomfortable truth is they're not entirely wrong to do so. China's Noriko unveiled the P-60 in February 2025, an autonomous military vehicle powered by DeepSeek AI. Hang on. I might be able to get you a picture of that. Like a real one. Do you want to see it? It's not as in... Is it this? Is it this? Yeah, it's this, right? Is that? It looks like an AI picture. I can't decide if that... No, these are pictures from an actual thing, I think. Hang on. I'll show it you. Look at this. Like, it looks like an AI picture, but there's loads of them, so I'm assuming this is from an event and not just like China's released AI pictures to try and scare you. It's just an assumption, but... Because that is an AI picture. That really is not a real picture, yeah? Okay, so did they unveil it at an event? They're saying that looks like an AI picture as well. China deploys DeepSeek on unmanned tanks. So that's the concept. I'm not going to say that's the real thing, because these pictures look like really AI. But like the concept is look, there's a tank truck. The concept is they're automating these things with the AI, yeah. So you thought it was just like a little, a little drone dog coming at you, like one of these robot things, and that's true. It is, it is. But they reckon it's also going to be this. So. I better get on with reading this. It's only not supposed to take like 40 minutes to read, but if you're watching this and you're watching it and it's like a podcast and you're watching it back and you're having a cup of tea and you're listening to it, I hope you're enjoying it. We'll come on to AI pictures in a minute. We're going to come on to, how things are manipulated in social media. We're doing social control next, but depending on how long it takes me to get through the war. So China have unveiled the P-60. An autonomous military vehicle powered by DeepSeek AI capable of 50 kilometers an hour, designed to identify targets from satellite images while coordinating with radars and aircraft in real time. Russia announced serial production of its Marker unmanned ground vehicle in March 25. It carries Cornet anti-tank missiles and is designed to operate alongside drone swarms. The United States has Ghost Robotic Vision 60, a quadruped robot that's been fitted with spur weapons mounts, a remote rifle. Sorry. I'm trying to get a... I can't do 2 things at once. Maybe it's because I'm masculine. Apparently, is that sexist? I don't know. But I'm not. I'm trying to show you the dog robot with the gun. I can't do 2 things at once. Here it is.
Over the years, many of us have been captivated by
This is someone's video about it, so I don't need to hear all this. I just want you to show me the picture of the dog video. The dog with the gun. Here it is.
With the tests focused on potential army uses of the technology, such as scouting hazardous areas, delivering mission-critical supplies, and performing combat tasks to minimise risk to soldiers in the field. Meanwhile, the Australian Army has been exploring the application of Vision 60 and the groundbreaking use of brain signals to control robotic and autonomous systems. Researchers at the University of Technology Sydney and the Army's Robotic and Autonomous Implementation and Coordination Office recently teamed up and demonstrated a brain-to-robot interface at the Majura training area in Canberra. Rather than using voice or physical inputs into a conventional control device, the collaboration instead developed a headset-mounted, brain-to-robot interface that is worn by a soldier, translating their brain signals into explainable instructions for the robot. This allows the operator to maintain weapon readiness and use their hands for other tasks.
And to think I found it difficult to get a video up while I was talking on a stream, but these soldiers are going to control the robot killer dog with their brain at the same time as walking around and shooting their own guns. Nothing can go wrong, thankfully, because these are well-trained soldiers, and these robot dogs, they seem fine. Robots, yeah, good shout, Peggy. They were introduced as the good guys in Star Wars, weren't they? They were, yeah. Like, there's a lot. Remember that I'm framing this as a choice between a utopia future where we integrate technology for abundance, which is what's being sold to us. That's the setup that's being sold to us. It might not turn out that way. Sometimes these people lie to us, and then they say they're going to do one thing and they do another. Like with Donald Trump saying he's not going to do a war and then doing a war. Sometimes they lie, don't they, and do the opposite. Sometimes you can think, if they're saying things, I might really consider what the opposite is to what they're saying and consider that they might do that. So this could go either way. Killer robot dog technology could go either way. So it's got a remote rifle and is currently on active military contracts. South Korea has got a sentry robot on the demilitarized zone since 2014. It's a bit of a mad one, isn't it? Since 2014. And you can get it, like a sentry robot, that sounds more normal. It's a gun, it's mounted. If you cross the demilitarized zone, you're going to get shot by it, so don't fuck about up there. But still, it's a bit of a worry, isn't it? Like, what if your ball goes over the fence and you just want to get it back and you get shot and you were doing nothing wrong? Well, you were in the demilitarized zone, so you deserved it. It automatically detects, tracks, and locks onto targets. Like, I wonder if anything gets... I wonder if it's all right with wildlife, or if it's just like... Could you imagine a zone where there's autonomous turrets? Now, you have them in video games, I get it, but, like, we worry about the use of landmines. We did worry. Princess Diana worried, and she was the Queen of Bloody Hearts, thank you very much, about the landmines. You scatter landmines during a conflict zone, it makes sense, it's defense. You don't want people to get blowing their legs up, you know, don't come near here. But then when the war's finished, and it's years later, and some kid just gets their leg blown off by a landmine, that's bad, because you don't know where they are. So this might be similar, like automated weapon systems that can just kill people, target, set up turrets, robot dog things, ship them out, get involved. Where does it end? Could be bad. A human authorises the fire, but everything before the trigger pull is the machine's decision. Okay, so that's all right then. They've got someone in an office saying okay when it says, I want to shoot this. Ukraine tested over 70 domestic developed unmanned ground vehicles in 2025 and is actively building a 15 to 40 kilometre autonomous kill zone along its front lines. Oh, a strip of territory where anything that moves triggers an autonomous response. We're not talking about robots that might fight one day. We're talking about robots that are fighting now, being built now, entering serial production now. Like, on another hand, for the positive side that I could say, is it positive? Is that maybe we don't need so many humans to die. But then, what is war? What is it good for? No, but what is war if it's not sending our young men to die in their droves? And women, don't be sexist. What is war if it's not bombing the fuck out of countries that can't strike? Like, have you seen how far Iran fired out to all the different places they could attack? And it was like me throwing a tissue out the window, you know, didn't get very far, did it? So, what is war if we can't just bomb the fuck out of underdeveloped countries? But, you know, on the positive, maybe we don't have to have so many bad wars. We can just say, look, there's the border, like I was saying earlier, there's the line, get back over it. And if you don't get back over it, all of these automatic Terminator machines are just going to kill you. So where in the past we had borders between countries, symbolically sometimes, you know, like the EU and that system now, like people could just like sort of go to different places, which seems fair enough, doesn't it? If a bird can fly across a border, you know, humans having rights, the ability to travel, go places, seems quite nice. You know, borders maybe breaking down is a good thing, like in some ways. You know, break down the borders, friends with our neighbours. We don't have to have a big autonomous set of guns that will kill you if you go near it. But the other side of it is, if you don't want anyone to come into your country, like when you take over Greenland, for example, if you're one of those billionaires that run these systems. Like, you could just set them up all around Greenland and then no one can get in. Pros and cons, aren't there? There are like pros and cons to these things. I'm going to put this over here still, I think, a little bit. I don't like the idea that automate, and we're not just talking about the little dogs, are we? We're talking about the tanks and everything. Like remote control tanks and bad. I don't know, maybe it's good. It's a little bit good, because maybe people don't have to die as much. But then what does, like, maybe that's another conversation, but what does war become then? It's just like, it's a rundown of your resources, like a competitive rundown of your resources. And what's been going on in Ukraine at the moment almost feels like a reason to have a training ground, like a, you know, like a in the field training testing ground, doesn't it? Like, you would think they'd want to stop that war, but then in another way, you might think some people might want to carry it on. Autonomous naval submarines. I know what this picture is. You'll spot this picture when you see it. You'll be like, oh, I know that one. I recognise that one. Autonomous naval. No. I thought it was down there in the list. Oh, Scott can never remember where the pictures are. He's terrible. Scott's a bad host. I've done all this work for you. All these pictures. Bad host. There it is. Look, there's a submarine. You know what that is. You recognise that. But usually there's people in it. Now there's not. It just goes around under the sea. You don't know where it is. Naval autonomous weapons receive less public attention than their aerial counterparts, which is partly why they're so alarming. The United States DARPA Sea Hunter, an autonomous surface vessel. Sorry. My relaxing music's not very relaxing. That can skip on. My background music. Let's have chill. This is much more appropriate for an autonomous naval submarine that can kill everyone. The United States has DARPA Sea Hunter, an autonomous surface vessel designed to hunt submarines across open ocean for months without a crew. Anduril has a contract with Australia to build the Ghost Shark, an autonomous submarine. The US Navy conducted exercises in 2024 in which their autonomous air and sea drones coordinated to destroy 6 high-speed patrol boats with a 6 for 6 success rate. No human directing individual engagements. China's deploying autonomous underwater gliders across the South China Sea. Surveillance today, weapons delivery tomorrow. But the system that deserves the most attention is Russia's Poseidon. It's a nuclear-armed autonomous torpedo, also known as the Status 6. It can remain submerged for months. It's designed to evade detection by travelling at depth and speed profiles that existing sonar struggles to track. Its payload is a multi-megaton nuclear warhead designed to detonate offshore from a coastal city and generate a radioactive tsunami. That sounds... And once deployed, it makes its own decisions. Nobody's steering it. Nobody can call it back if the geopolitical situation changes. It's a nuclear weapon that, once released, is autonomous. So, again, we're not talking about something that may be in the future. Is it? Should we? This is currently in production as a weapon system. And like, people used to worry about like the, do you remember, well, I don't know if you do remember, but they used to worry about the Cuban Missile Crisis and denuclearization. You had CND ban the bomb. You know that peace symbol, the CND ban the bomb. Like, climb down from the old nuclear situation. We don't want anyone to accidentally press that button. You're getting cross, don't press the button. Yeah? What about... What about if instead of being cross and pressing the button, there's a submarine just going around, you don't know where it is? America have got other, like, you know, the two teams have got these chuffing about under the sea somewhere. You don't know where it is, they don't know where it is, we don't know where it is. But if one of ours comes up against one of theirs, there's going to be a showdown. It'll be automatic, it'll be underwater, and then there'll be a big fucking nuclear explosion in the sea somewhere. Maybe. What's the chances it could happen? Well, they're going to be going around. You know what we're like, us human beings, don't you? I'm saying us human beings, not like Elon Musk, you human beings. us human beings. You know what it's like? If you send them around enough, one of them's going to... I just feel like we're creating a system where in the next sort of 10 years, maybe less, it'll be on the news, oh, nuclear sub went up again. This time it was only off the wait, chuffer. This time it was only off the coast of Wales, so just off Swansea, but, you know, ooh. Go on, you. Shouts out Wales. Shouts out Wales. Shouts out Wales. You think war's depopulation? If they want to depopulate us, what they're going to do, if you're on that tip, right? Get themselves on the moon, get themselves off to Greenland, get themselves off to that little bunkers in New Zealand, get us all fucking nuked. Get us all nuked. I'll tell you for why. If you're on the moon, you don't have to give a fuck, do you? Because you're on the moon. And if you're down in Greenland, you probably don't have to give a fuck either. You've got global warming warming it up. It's going to be nice. Everyone else, they don't like us. The billionaires, especially the bad ones, the right-wing ones, the racist ones, they don't like us, or other people from like Africa or India or anywhere. They don't like them. So get them all bombed, right? And that's what they'll do. And then also, oh, that's bad because you can't inherit the earth then, can you? Like, what's Elon Musk's kids going to do? They can't go anywhere. No, you can clean up New York in about a year and a half. All the radiation, all the radiation problems, the robots can do it, can't they? They don't have to worry about radiation. They're robots. And the modern tech, they'll get it cleaned up. It won't take that long. And then they've got the entire Earth. They don't need a population. Do they? They don't need a population. They can repopulate it with their own kids, their own ways, their own choices. And, I mean, what's the population for anyway? We were the labour force. Now they've got the robots. They don't need a population. Don't let me confused. It's a bit of a joke, but it's also a bit worrying. So, but Peggy's got some quite interesting ideas, of which I think a lot of them might just be pumped out conspiracy nonsense that's like there to confuse, so that you're not as effective in taking down the real things that are happening. So there's like wood for the tree stuff goes on. It happened with all the MAGA stuff. It got Trump elected. There's a lot of wood for the tree stuff going on. So I would veer away from anyone who tries to peddle flat earth stuff and stuff like that. I'd veer away from it. And like there's a lot of nonsense peddled. So just be careful. AI and robots. Yeah, a lot of the jobs are already going though. I'd agree with that. You know, we are not as necessary. And it won't be that they're going to give you free money because you don't have a job. Like when the miners were not necessary, they didn't give them all a load of free money. Well, they did add benefits, didn't they? But you know, you don't have a like here's a wage so that you can just sit at home and enjoy yourself. They'll rent your brain off you. You get Neuralinked and they'll rent your brain off you. But free money, no thanks. Well, I'd take some, but they won't be dishing it out. You can give me free money by doing me a super chat and by becoming a member. It's not free money. I'm working for it. The submarines then, are they good or bad? They're there because we have to have look, utopia, remember, let's give it a fair crack of the whip. We have to have systems that defend our you know, we've got a democracy going on here. We've always had it this way since way back, haven't we? Well, we've had kings, queens. We've had a system for a while that needs defending with war. And the best way to win a war is to have the nuclear submarines going around in the sea that can create nuclear tsunamis without human intervention, that could be countered by other submarines. And basically you won't be able to see any of it. I mean, it's all right because you don't go in the sea a lot, do you? You're not fucking about in the Pacific, are you? You don't mind what happens in the mid-North Atlantic. You're not out there rowing a boat. So it'll just be all right. All in the name of protecting our utopia. Like, if you want the green, wonderful utopia, like the vision of the future where everything's lovely, shouldn't we have fucking loads of this going on to protect it? Maybe. Maybe that's the way it works. I'm going to say it's a worry for me. These are falling over here a lot, aren't they? I'm going to say it is a worry for me because nuclear explosions at sea, like quite large ones, sort of without human oversight or control, I think that's probably bad overall. Yeah, when you haven't got a job, well, what you can probably do when you haven't got a job and you can't pay for your food or rent is move to India or Africa, because they will still have, I mean, there'll still be a lot of jobs go there as well, but the, you've got different, like third world, first world, different levels of industrialization and economy and stuff. Like, we live in a modern economy, so the jobs in the modern economy will go, but there will be other economies that don't have that. So, if you still want a job, then you might have to move to another economy. So, and then when they catch up, then the jobs will go as well. Good luck. We'll be dead by then, hopefully. It's bad, isn't it? It's scary. So I don't want to worry you. I don't want to worry you. It's just a thought. Right, next. Let's get me on my next. Where's my... Oh, I've lost all my... Got more windows than Buckingham Palace. So... Next, I have got for you... What was that? That was submarine systems. Nuclear command and control. This is a serious one. They're all pretty serious, actually. Depending on how we go, I might split this into 2 streams. I might do surveillance tomorrow or another day, because like I always do this. It always takes me longer than I didn't think it would take me this long to get through this, but that's stock market. Stock market's a real late one. These all look like surveillance, don't they? Why can't I ever do this? Giving you a teaser for what's coming up. Look, China. That was that one. How did that get in there? Seriously, how did that get in? What am I looking for now? I'm looking for nuclear, and I know what it looks like. It's like a bunker that I did. It was supposed to look like a little bunker. Little bunker. My little bunker. The host is now messing about. The host is now... He hasn't got his... There it is. There it is. So, it's fucking... There it is. Oh, this one's going to make more sense, isn't it? You're going to understand this a bit more better. This is the entry where we have to be honest about the limits of what we know, because the most sensitive details are classified. What we do know is this: Russia's perimeter system, also known as Dead Hand, existed since the 1980s, a semi-automated system designed to ensure nuclear retaliation, even if the entire Soviet and now Russian command structure is destroyed at a first strike. Under certain conditions, it can initiate launch sequences without a human making the final decision. Like, you've known about these things for a while, though, haven't you? Like, this one's not news. So, the concept of us all being killed automatically by computers or by systems that we put into place, that's not entirely new, is it? The system's real, it's operational, it existed for 40 years. What's new is the pressure to integrate AI into the earlier stages of the nuclear chain. The early warning systems, the threat assessments, the launch authorization timings are driven by a simple physical fact. Hypersonic missiles give you somewhere between 3 and 6 minutes of warning. You can't convince a command authority, assess the intelligence, consider the diplomatic situation, and make a considered decision in 3 minutes. The pressure to automate more of the process isn't abstract. It's a direct consequence of the physics of hypersonic weapons. In 1983, a Soviet officer named Stanislav Petrov received an early warning system alert after indicating 5 incoming American nuclear missiles. He decided on his own judgment that it was a false alarm and things did not escalate, and he was right. The system had malfunctioned. If an AI had been making that assessment, would it have reached the same conclusion? Would it have been permitted to override? And the question's not answered, it's not even properly asked yet. Are we steadily building toward a world where it will need to be answered in real time under conditions of war with no margin for error? So, weapon systems already exist. Again, I have been told by the governments of our day that these are good things because, well, we don't like the Russian one, do we? We think the Russian one's bad, but if the Russians fire at us, it's good that they don't, because then what happens is Russia don't want to fire at us because it will just all kick off and they'll get exploded as well. They know it's automatic. We've set it up. They've set it up. We all know it's automatic, so no one can press the button. But if you start to hand over the control of the decisions to the AI, maybe that could be bad. Because whilst it's automatic, there's still things that happen behind the scenes, aren't there, with the old thinking. Sometimes people have got time to question. Maybe you don't get notified, maybe you don't get told, maybe the AI wants to keep it secret. We haven't really got deep into AI safety today. Well, we're kind of talking about it, but like, you know, the reasons AI makes its decisions. But handing over that to AI, we're talking about handing over the nuclear weapons. We've already got the systems. They already sit there, operational, waiting. But integrating AI into them. Again, probably, first of all, we could consider that for a utopian future, that we need sort of automated massive systems of mass destruction just to sort of overwatch the whole thing. And maybe just like kill an entire country if things go wrong. I don't know. I might leave that one in the middle because we sort of already have it. We're just talking about AI taking over. And sometimes I think AI is quite good. I use it for a lot of stuff. I've made a load of pictures today. I've taken a load of notes and turned it into a thing to read out. I mean, thing is, I think they have. Sorry, going back to the we're going to talk about social credit in a minute if I can get through. Actually, so how many of these have I got left? Oh, we're on to mass surveillance next. Okay, so we'll start on mass surveillance next. We'll get on to social credit next. What do we do when there's no jobs as well, though? Like the handouts from the state thing. I don't know if, like I said, I don't think they'll. At first, it's like, oh, AI is going to provide abundance, so you'll get a load of free stuff. But I don't think they're going to give you anything. So I think different jobs will come up, and you do have value. As a human being, you have value. At the moment, your value to the economic system, and over the last however many years, has included things like filing, sorting, moving things around. As Elon Musk currently calls it, atom displacement or whatever, like physically moving things around. If you want someone to put a tile on a roof, then that's pretty valuable stuff because rain comes in. You've got a use case. Like, humans are valuable all across the board. But as those jobs get done by humans, then our values, or not our values like what we value, but the value of a human will change. Like, you will still have value. You'll still be able to produce value in the system, but the kind of value you produce will change. And who it's valuable to, and who has the economic power to sort of exploit that value, you know? One of the options will be that you can rent your brain out to Neuralink. Like, your brain is a big computer. They're going on and on about all these chips and how expensive, and the data centers and the energy. Your brain is a big computer, and we waste so much of the compute because we sit around just watching the fucking telly eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. But what they'll do is they'll pay you in television and Kentucky Fried Chicken to sit and watch it, so they can co-opt part of your brain for compute. So there you go, you can rent out your brain. Good luck. Good luck. I hope you're smart. Smart people get better rates. Yeah, so the only one that I wasn't really like completely unsold, like, is really bad actually, is the automated nuclear system, which I worry is going to kill us all anyway. So having AI involved in that might be safer in some ways if it's run properly. I don't know. Maybe it's bad. I'll just leave it there. Surveillance. That's what we're doing next. Well, I'm not doing it. These chuffers in Anthropic refuse to do it. That's where we started, isn't it? That's not a chuffer from Anthropic. That's a soldier with a gun. These chuffers said, I don't want to do it. Did they? They did. But state surveillance. And again, like, today's episode is sponsored by These Things Are Happening. Not like, this isn't like some sort of sci-fi future, or what about maybe if, like, there's a bit of that to it, but it's kind of already happening. And it's not talked about enough, I don't think, to be honest. Right. Mass facial recognition surveillance networks. Let's find a picture for that. I know which one I wanted. I think it's this, isn't it? Is this? That counts. I've got another one of people's faces. Let's try this. Let's try this. We'll do this. Mass facial recognition surveillance networks. China has an estimated 600 million surveillance cameras as of May 2025. Many of them are equipped with AI facial recognition running at claimed accuracy rates of 98.5%. Companies like SenseTime and Megvii serve over 40 police bureaus across the country, scanning millions of faces every single day. If you jaywalk in Shanghai, a camera captures your face, matches it to your national identity, deducts points from your record, and sends you a fine notification. Often before you've crossed the road. In Hangzhou, during the 2023 Asian Games, hotel room door spy holes were fitted with facial recognition. Unregistered guests of any abnormal activity triggered immediate intervention. Dahua, one of the major Chinese surveillance companies, has produced algorithms that identify Uyghur facial features 30% faster than other ethnic characteristics. That capability has one purpose. In the West, Clearview AI scraped over 30 billion images from the internet without consent and sells access to over 3,000 law enforcement agencies globally. The Met Police in London deploys facial live recognition at public events, a practice that's faced legal challenge but continues. China exports its surveillance infrastructure to over 22 African nations through Belt and Road, meaning a significant portion of the developing world is building its intelligence architecture on Chinese-supplied, Chinese-maintained AI systems. The EU AI Act prohibits real-time biometric surveillance in public spaces. The EU have prohibited real-time biometric surveillance in public spaces, but carved out sections for law enforcement that many critics argue make the prohibition symbolic. For everyone outside the EU and most of the world, no prohibition exists. What do you think of that? His dog just come in. The dog just wanted to come in. He didn't want to come in. Scratching at the door. He's doing it now. Don't mess me about. Come in. Oosh. Facial recognition then. Now, they've already got it in the shops, got it at public events, they're trying it in the Met London Police. We're not just talking about you're on a camera, like, you know, you're being CCTV'd. We're talking about your face is being recognised, it's in a database. In China, if you commit a minor public crime offence, like, you know, parking fine, jaywalking, they just get you straight up, and it's not that you have to pay the fine. It's the China system we're going to talk about as we go through this a bit more, but it's that you're socially connected, like, you know, it's on your phone, it's in your thing, they've got your bank details, it's not that you have to pay the fine, it's that you've already paid the fine, you've done the crime, you're paying the fine, you're being seen, being monitored the whole time, and it's, you know, it's got into your bank account. Like, weirdly about this, you could argue that we're talking about so I've got another document as well that I wanted to refer to. You could argue that we're talking about stuff that keeps things safe. Mass facial recognition surveillance networks. I'll show you what I'm looking at. Which means I have to find the page again. I made these, but they're a bit like full of words. But I'll show you the one. Mass surveillance systems. So, permanent records that never forget. This is what I was looking for. The morality and safety key risks. So, permanent records that never forget mean that if you have one wrong association. Let's say you're walking down a street. I'm not even going to say you've done a bad thing, because you might not be doing a bad thing. It might be a good thing that you went to that protest. Who knows? But when you are on the street, you are basically potentially tied in to the activities that are happening. So if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you're associated with it, and it's a permanent data point. There's a documented racial bias. I mean, they literally programmed it to look for the Uyghurs in China, which is really bad. Black faces are misidentified at 10 to 100 times higher rates in the US systems. The Uyghur feature detection is functionally a genocide support tool. The EU AI Act prohibits real-time biometric surveillance, but with law enforcement carve-outs, as we said. So, like, it's got to be accurate. It's got storage costs, legal challenges. It's not accurate right now. It's being used already. It's racially designed to profile, finding it more difficult to be accurate in black populations in America. Like, that's not a good thing. Not a good thing. So facial recognition. Again, like, you know, saying, is this a utopia thing? Is it like, you know, everyone's faces are currently always being registered and cameraed, and if you go out in the high street, that's it, you're on it. Logged. It's not a good thing. It's supposed to be for our safety, isn't it? Though? Well, it's supposed to be a good thing for our safety. Oh, and as it says, yeah, big ups Dry Spell. Big ups Dry Spell. As it says, and like, there's loads of pictures of me online. I might have to start making some real, like, promotional shoots of me so you can all see, you know, the real me more. As it's coming around to summer, I'll do a swimsuit summer edition. Big ups, Louise. Yeah, one of the worrying things is that the spy technology has already scraped all of the pictures on the internet and handed them over to the police. So a bunch of people who maybe do or don't want to be. I remember going around the street in my local town and thinking there's a security camera there, or the security camera's looking at me when they first set them up, you know, on poles. Like, you just feel like you're being like, oh, I'm being security cameraed here. I don't know, I'm not doing anything wrong, really. But I'm being security cameraed. Now it's not just that, is it? It's like, you know, they know who I am. They've got my details. They've got my record up. I haven't got a criminal record. I've heard a few criminal records. Wait. When's Eurovision? I've heard a few criminal records. Yeah, this is the world George Orwell told us about in 1984. It's got a lot of similarities. They've got your face. Right, now I did change my windows around, so I'm going to have to now find where I was. I forgot to say, is this good or bad? I don't like it at all. My gut instinct is I think it's bad. Facial recognition software. Especially when we're talking, I'm serious for a moment, but when we're talking about, like, if there was a crime committed and you said, right, there's, like, you know, in the football, I don't know if you follow football like I do, up the Blues, even though we have a tough run into the end of the season now, still, up the Blues, joys and sorrows. Listen, the fact, like, if there's a crime committed, I think it's okay to flick on the automated system and say, okay, facially recognize the people in this area for me, AI. There's been a crime. Tell me who's in the area. But as an automated system, when you're just walking about doing your shopping, constantly on the system, I just don't like it. Just don't want to. Like, I think there should be definite limitations. I think the ability to use it to solve crimes and to catch bad people and stuff, very, very good. Can be very, very useful. Actually, can go over this side. But unregulated or like fully automatic happening all the time is an overstep, isn't it? It's like we get these people in our town centres now that are like town hosts. They're not actually police people. They might say they work for the council or for a private company that's like operating, like the local town centres are public spaces, but private companies have taken them over and operate a sort of policing service. in them, these town host people, yeah? You see them about. They don't have any authority over anyone, but they think they do. They're like, you know, it's that sort of thing. Like, these are public spaces where we're free to be the public, unmolested. Maybe, you know, if you're in public, you can always be recorded. Anyone can have a camera on you. You can always, yeah, I guess, but one that's face tracking me on the database, I don't like it. So I think we definitely need it, in the same way as you wouldn't argue against CCTV for all the good it's done, but to be constantly on CCTV unmonitored is sort of, you know, no one's always watched. When you're walking down the street and you're on the CCTV and stuff, you're always being recorded, but it's not the same as when someone comes up with a phone in your face and does stuff like that, is it? You're just on the they're not watching the recording, you just happen to be on it, and if something happened, they'd be able to check it back. But like the constant monitoring by the AI system, so it knows where I am and what I'm doing, like, that's a big worry, isn't it? Like, I don't mind the AI being bust out. Like, someone does a bad crime in public and they switch it on and they catch them, that's good. But they just know whether I've been buying, like, asparagus in the shops and I'm on my way home to cook my dinner. Like, that's bad. I don't want them, like, constantly monitoring everything I'm doing and knowing, and you know, all the data points being put together so they've got a complete picture of my behaviour the entire time. I just don't like the concept. I'm not doing anything bad, but I don't think it's the sort of thing that I think a free and utopian, you know, this happy place doesn't necessarily have that. Although maybe it does have that. Like, you know, your phone knows when you're on your way. So you said, oh, you're about to get home. Should I switch on the oven? You know, that sort of stuff. Well, we like that, don't we? So maybe some sense of data points about my day are important in order to provide that. What do you think? What do you think? Invasion of privacy. It is an invasion of privacy. It's opting in and opting out is not an option, is it? You opt in by simply going in the high street. And that's my problem with that town host system, with the business improvement district, they call it, system, is that it's, you know, it's a public space. It shouldn't be a private company operating that. Public spaces are slightly different, aren't they? So maybe you should be expected to not have this happen. But then again, that privacy's been invaded already, isn't it? You want to go out now, do you? In and out. I think some of these, to be honest, are going to be harder to argue hard line one way or the other, because there's a lot of positives for this. If you operate a free and fair society and within it you're being a normal chuffer, what's the problem with having a CCTV system that's sophisticated and can catch all the bad people? Even if it knows whether you're having, like, you know, beans on toast for tea or not. You know, if you're just having beans on toast for tea, why are you bothered? That's the sort of argument for that, isn't it? He wants to come back in now. He just got out so he can come back in. Right, next, China's social credit system. This is what you wanted to hear about, isn't it? I've got to get a picture up for that, and I know where that picture is, and I know which one it is. The social credit picture. I know which. That one. This one. This represents China's social credit system. So it looked quite nice, like cyberpunk. You can tell it's China because the letters on the shop are Chinese, probably. I mean, I don't know. I can't read Chinese, can I? So it could just be gibberish. Could be AI gibberish. Western media has spent years describing China's social credit system in terms that are partly accurate and partly overblown, and the reality is, in some ways, more disturbing than the caricature. It's not a single unified score assigned to every citizen. That narrative is an exaggeration. What it actually is an interconnected ecosystem of behavioural tracking, financial integration and enforcement mechanisms that's more pervasive for being distributed rather than centralised. There are national blacklists, real operational, affecting approximately 200,000 individuals as of 2025. They restrict travel, luxury purchases, and access to high prestige occupations. There are local systems that track public behaviour in real time. There are financial integrations. Alibaba's Sesame Credit links directly to loan eligibility, insurance premiums, and in some cases, dating app visibility. You can be shadow banned from society. Hangzhou's City Brain, powered by Alibaba Cloud, integrates traffic behaviour, emergency incidents and public service data in real time, feeds it directly into local credit systems. If you have a car crash, it damages whether you can do nice things. Daewoo's protest banner detection software, released in 2023, is explicitly designed to identify banners being unfurled at demonstrations before they're fully visible, alerting authorities before a protest can properly begin. If you take your sign and your banner and you start to unroll it, before you have unrolled it and the message can be displayed, they're on you. Shutting that down. And you won't be able to get a loan, insurance, you won't be able to get certain jobs, buy luxury goods, travel. I mean, I'm over exaggerating there because I don't know exactly which penalties are for what, but national blacklists for all sorts of things. And you can't, it's happening automatically with AI. It's not like there's a judge and you go to court and they say you've done this and you've been naughty and you can appeal it. You do your thing and it happens to you around you in like some sort of technological Truman show. Suddenly your card won't swipe. And what have I done? On the way home I bumped into that lamppost and now I can't go in the shops. Or stuff to that equivalent. I've lost my place. The philosopher Michael Foucault, I can never pronounce his name. I know him. Foucault. The philosopher Michael Foucault described the panopticon, a prison design in which inmates never know when they're being watched and so police themselves constantly. China's system is a digital panopticon, except that unlike Foucault's theoretical construct, this one's operational, continuously refined and being exported. So we've got the social credit score of China being described as a digital prison where you're always being watched. You never know when you're being watched because it's always. All your little decisions can filter into it directly affecting your life. Of course, we've got to start with this is obviously a utopic thing, isn't it? Utopia future. Because instead of bad people getting away with things being bad, doing bad things, like people who do stealing, for example, you go around stealing, that's bad, isn't it? So we don't want that in the utopia future. We want everyone to have their doors unlocked. We don't want people... You should be able to leave your doors unlocked like in the past when there was no crimes. So we want that in the future. Well, the doors will lock and auto unlock themselves, won't they? No, we want that. Everyone have your door unlocked and no crime. No, we won't have to worry about crimes because people that commit the crimes will be instantly not just caught for the crime but punished for the crime. And okay, there are punishments that we would like to meter out, like throwing them off into the prison and stuff. But the crimes that, like petty theft, for example, where your response will immediately be that you can't go in the shops anymore. So that's good, isn't it, for the utopia? Because we can exclude people from utopia, and we won't have to do it. You won't have to judge. You're not responsible for it. The AI overlord does it. It just sort of excludes people from society where it sees fit, and they can't come back. They just have to live on a sort of sub-level. We create a sort of lower tier of society of people who can't access goods and services. We've almost got one of those now. You have to have a phone. If you haven't got a phone, listen, if you go into the lower tier though, you won't be able to access the goods and services. So, whilst the green future's nice, I should say the future's not bright. The future's bright, the future's orange. For us it'll be nice because you'll be a good person. You're not going to be messing about, are you? But the bad people will live in this lower state down here. It'd probably be bad for them. But that's not bad for everyone, is it? The Chinese social system, on the other hand, maybe having an AI enforced oversight. Like, what if you don't agree with all the rules? What if you think they're being over-enforced? What if you think they're being heavy-handed? You can't say anything about it because that's also a crime. So you get punished for going around saying it. I think, you know, you take your banner to the protest and you unfoot. And there's been protests on either side of the political divide over the last year and 2 years, hasn't there? There always are. But, you know, everyone that went to one would basically be in that lower social. Some of them went to, some of them are in that lower social. I think we're going to have to say it's bad. But China are already doing it now, aren't they? They're doing it now. So maybe it's good. Because I can't just go on the internet and say that China's society's bad, can I? There's a lot of good things coming out of China. They're the ones that are moving faster towards a green future. You know, maybe this is how this green future starts. Maybe this is the seed of it. Because they've... they're going all for the... They're going for the... Elon Musk likes solar power. He likes it so much he keeps talking about how China are racing ahead with it. I think he might defect over there when energy comes to be the main thing. I don't know, good or bad, good or bad. I think I might pop it over there. Over there. Kind of think we should pop it over here though. Like, you could argue that it's really good if you're a good person. Nah, it's bad, isn't it? It's bad. Bad. AI predictive policing. This one's. There's a few that are at this end of the scale now that are actually quite like, what? And this is one of them. So let's get it out. Let's get it out. Where's my predictive policing? I saw it earlier. It's the picture of the policeman having a go at the ladies. Too many pictures, look. Too many windows. Has he got to go through all of these still as well? Possibly. We might not get through everything. We might just like stop when the time is up. That's close to it. Those face people. They were facially recognised, weren't they? They were being facially recognised. Where's the predictive policeman? There it is. This one's good. You'll like this. AI predictive policing. The promise of predictive policing is seductive. Use data and AI to allocate police resources to where crime's most likely to happen. Before it happens. Prevent harm rather than responding to it. The problem is what it looks like in practice. The LA Police Department began using predictive analytics in 2008, and there's now over 120 real-time crime centres operational across American cities, integrating CCTV, licence plate readers, social media monitoring, and AI pattern recognition into live crime prediction maps. Flock Safety has licence plate reader cameras at over 88,000 locations across the United States. Their Nova tool aggregates this data into profiles on individuals. In August 2025, Congress opened an investigation into Flock Safety after it emerged that a Texas sheriff's office had used the system to track a woman under investigation for having an abortion. Without a warrant, with false jurisdiction provided for the searches, and it's not theoretical abuse, it happened. Palantir's social graph tools build networks of individuals, associations, flagging people, not just because they've done anything, but because someone they know is under suspicion. So I'll say it again, read it properly. Palantir have a thing called social graph. The tool builds networks of individuals' associations and flags people, not because they've done something wrong, but because they're associated with someone who has. Someone who's under suspicion, I should say, who not definitely has. The Netherlands deployed a system called SIRI, Social Risk Indication, which assigned risk scores to citizens based on government data. A court struck it down in 2020 as a violation of human rights. The EU AI Act prohibits individual predictive policing based on profiling. Again, the EU coming in here to say your human rights are to not have this done to you. You've got to worry when someone says they want to get out of the European Court of Human Rights because they want to do this shit to you. This is the European Court of Human Rights protects you from this. The people that don't want the European Court of Human Rights want to do this shit to you. So what they can do, like I said, what they already do, Palantir, if you're associated with someone who they think is suspicious, you go in the system as well. In America, they can get your license plates. They can use your license plates to flag you on the system. It's interconnected systems, isn't it? So now you're being predictively policed. They keep an eye on you, basically, don't they? They think you might be getting up to something. You might do something naughty in the future. They keep an eye on you. Under suspicion. Amnesty International's 2025 report documented how crime hotspot designations derive from historical arrest data. Data that itself reflects decades of discriminatory policing. So it creates self-reinforcing cycles. The algorithm finds crime where it looks. And it looks where it's always looked. So discrimination is now automated. And that's another problem. This picture, obviously this nice lady hasn't done a crime, has she? Look. But if you've got racist policing feeding into the statistics and racist profiling of policing, when the automated AI systems are used in profiling the people and predicting crimes, which people do you think are going to be more likely to be heavily policed? It's that old chestnut again, isn't it, of racial profiling. But now it's automated by AI. But yeah, it's going to be pretty scary, isn't it? Pretty scary. Predictive policing. The worst for me, like I say, is like if you're in association with people that it thinks is suspicious or that they think are suspicious. So if you know somebody or you go and drink at the pub and there's somebody in there and, you know, your levels of connection with these people are going to be monitored. You might not be a red connect. You might not be like in their house all the time doing the bad things with them, but you might have bumped into them a couple of times on your dog walk, and now you're under suspicion by the computer to a level amber, and then that affects things because it feeds into different. So now it's checking your license plate wherever you go, and obviously you've been predictably followed around with your shopping, but now you're being predictively followed around with your policing as well. And it could come to the point where you're stopped in the street for something you haven't yet done. But the computer thinks there's a pretty good chance you might. I definitely don't like that. Predictive policing. Yeah, but what about the good thing? What about stopping a terrorist attack before it happens? You know, what about stopping somebody who's about to go and do some other bad crime before they do it? You could save lives, actually. What about that? Can you say that this is bad if it saves somebody from getting a bad crime done to them and their lives saved? Can you say it's bad? Now you've got something that they can leverage you with, that they can argue with. Like, if you don't agree with this, then essentially you want babies to be killed. Probably. That's, if you don't agree with this, then you're on the side of the bad criminals who want to do the bad things, don't you? So you might have to agree to this. Minority Report. Good shout. Good shout, Peggy. Well, it's Minority Report, isn't it? Yeah. It's predictive policing. I don't think they'd use those wooden balls. I don't know why they use the wooden balls. Well, because each wooden ball's unique. Yeah, but so is a computer code, isn't it? Like, you know, like unique wooden balls. The wooden balls was a lovely motif for the film, but... And the women in the water, what was that about? What was that about? The women in the water. We see Minority Report. What was that bit about with the women in the water? There was an article on NPR today about ICE using it. Oh, it must be bad then. Must be bad. Although it's easier for them to use it because ICE, like, this is the problem, isn't it? ICE can use it because they can say, well, all these people of this ethnicity we think are going to do bad things. That's why we're trying to get rid of them, isn't it? That's their sort of like their take on it. And so it will reinforce what they think. The computer will say, what are they? What are they? Mexicans? Yeah, you know, you're right. Get rid of them. That one's looking at you funny. Won't it? The computer will do that. And then it'll be like, yeah, well, look. And then if you have any sort of pushback against it, the computer will increase its opinion. Oh, look, they're getting eggy. It's like one of them, isn't it? It's like being gaslit into getting eggy. Oh, look, they're getting eggy. Yeah, but you're doing bad things. Oh, yeah, but you're getting eggy about it. Arrest them. Can you say no? I think in the future, it's more likely that our methods of, like, they can't, this is going to sound a little bit, but surely they can't argue that we shouldn't wear masks in public now. And I don't think everyone should have their entire faces covered in public. But also I think you should be allowed to cover your face in public. It's a weird one, isn't it? I don't want to walk around in the streets where everyone's got their faces covered and I feel like intimidated by it all, like we're walking around with a load of hoodlums. But at the same time, I don't want to walk around where everyone's videoing my face and using it for their computer systems to try and sell me things and police me. So, and I'm not even doing anything wrong. I just don't want to be messed about with. Yeah. Or the other thing is to pull a funny face the entire time. Like the entire time. So like facial recognition thinks of you in one way, and then when your face is just in a relaxed, normal face, it thinks of you in another way. So I could just like, walk around the entire time, like Wallace and Gromit, and then just let it go when it's. That's an option, I suppose. There are options. We've got options. Do this. No, wait, what is it? It's this. Do this. The whole time, and it can't, because your face is moving too fast, so it can't. Just do that the whole time. Do that the whole time. Rubber-dinghy rapids. It's against the human rights. The actual way to sort this out, if you don't want to be videoed on camera and this, you don't want these things, predictive policing. The actual way to do this is to be part of a political union like the European Union that has a European Court of Human Rights, an overarching human rights policy that defends human rights. It's about your human rights. If you're in America, it's about your constitution. It's about your human rights. Your rights here are being protected by certain agencies. Support charities like Amnesty International who care about this stuff. There are ways to sort of still, at the moment, we still have ways that we can fight back. Protesting is becoming illegalized, isn't it? But at the moment, you can still fight back. Look into what Amnesty International are doing. Human rights, and I'm not saying the right-wing people are doing the protests. I'm saying this is more of a, arms around, reaching out to each other sort of vibe, isn't it? It's about helping people who are underprivileged and stuff. Yeah, there are ways to sort of like, push back a little bit, aren't there? It's about human rights. Thankfully, we're not voting for people who are asking us to remove the European Court of Human Rights, because the minute you remove that, all the safeguards are gone and your head's on the chopping block for this sort of stuff. Right, mass internet and communication surveillance. So basically, listen, we're saying automatic policing's bad, aren't we? Internet tools so that they can predict who's bad. Like, what if I don't like your prediction? Well, that's it. Sorry. Like, the predictions are already bad. We already know they're bad. So make better predictions. I might be able to move it over the other side. Like, if they could legitimately make a prediction, this is another weird one though. Like, if they could legitimately predict, I'm going to take a really bad crime that had happened, the Soham murders, or like that Sarah Everard case. Yeah, that's a 5-year anniversary of that. God rest her soul. If they could predict those people were going to do that bad thing, that'd be really good, because then those people wouldn't die. On the other hand, can you go and arrest Ian Huntley before he's done the crimes? Like, you can't. You might be able to intervene. But could you imagine if you worked somewhere and then the police just came and intervened and said, "Oh, we think you're going to do a bad crime in the future." Like, well, I'm bloody not. Yeah, but you can't work here anymore. You come with us. Like, maybe it's really difficult to police the future for people's human rights. Maybe you have to wait until people have done crimes before you can police them. So I don't know. I'm going to stick it over there in the bad side. Right, mass internet communication surveillance. Then I've got biometric DNA and multimodal harvesting. Emotion recognition. Before we move on to social and psychological control. Maybe we do social and psychological as another episode. because it feels more. I'm doing weapons and surveillance today, which is the two things they specifically stated. But I did want to include social and psychological control, like algorithmic manipulation, radicalization pipelines. Because you see people radicalized into the right wing, turned into horrible racists, having a go at people like the Jews and black people, and having a go at Indians online, just because they're horrible racists who think like some stupid ideas about the Nazi. There's like these funny Nazi ideas that foolish young people got radicalized into online. We're not just talking about terrorists that are like Islamic bad. The bad Islamic terrorists online who are getting radicalized. It's young white people from Great Britain and America getting radicalized by the right-wing racist nationalists online as well, and they're quite susceptible to it, especially the feeble-minded. So, I wanted to go over that a bit, and it's not a full. I don't know. I just feel like 2 hours of this might be enough, because that section, the social and psychological control, is a bit of its own section. I didn't promise it. I've just got it already prepared to see how it goes. A bit extra in case this doesn't take long, or a bit too much in case it does, and it is taking quite a lot of time. So anyway, we've done social credit, predictive policing, now mass internet and communication surveillance, and this one will be more I don't know what the picture is. Maybe we use this picture. Maybe this will be more. I'll use this picture. That's the data center, isn't it? More familiar, I guess, won't it? Can I just move the data center around? Yeah, thank you. This will be more familiar. You'll be familiar with some of these concepts. In 2013, Edward Snowden revealed that the NSA's PRISM program was collecting data directly from the servers of Google, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, and others. The NSA's X keyscore system could search, in Snowden's description, nearly everything a user does on the internet. The public reaction was significant. The legal response was minimal. In 2021, the Defense Intelligence Agency confirmed it had been purchasing smartphone location data from commercial data brokers without warrants. In 2024, the NSA, this is America's National Security Association, confirmed it had been doing the same with browsing data. The Supreme Court ruled in 2018 that warrants were required to obtain cell location data from providers, but purchasing the same data commercially from brokers who obtained it from apps and sold it on remains largely unregulated. So you have to have protection over your data, yeah? Like where you are on your phone, your smartphone location. Like they have to have a warrant to get that, unless someone has already collected it and sold it to a third party. So you're allowed to buy it. They're not allowed to collect it themselves and use it. You need a warrant for it. But if someone's already collected it and you buy it, well. In China, WeChat scans every message, including those sent internationally, for content that violates approved parameters. The Great Firewall uses AI to classify and block content in real time, including VPN traffic. That is George Orwell 1984 sort of stuff. Russia's SORM system mandates that every internet service provider maintain backdoor access for the FSB. So if you're in Russia and you use the internet, then they can spy on you. Israel's NSO group sells Pegasus spyware, which turns any smartphone into a covert listening and tracking device. So the Pegasus spyware can turn any smartphone, and I'm assuming you don't have to get hold of the bloody thing in order to do it, into a tracking, listening. I mean, they are, aren't they? They've got microphones, they've got cameras, they know they're up on the system. They've now got the technology. I mean, this again, I said you might be familiar. Like, this isn't going to be like groundbreaking to us, but it's not just they've got the technology; it's being used, isn't it? I mean, thankfully, this can listen to everything I do. It's been listening to my current stream for like an hour and 50 minutes, and so have you. So thank you very much. If you have, click like. If you haven't listened to the stream, click like. If you have listened to it, click like. I mean, for crying out loud, it's only your thumb, isn't it? It's only your thumb. You only have to do that. You could do it with your nose. Don't try and do it with your nose. Stop. Get your face off the screen. It's dirty. Just click it with your thumb. Thank you. They're already doing it. They're listening. It's not the problem if you're not doing anything bad, though, is it? What they listen to. Is it? Israel's NSO group says the Pegasus spyware. It's been used against journalists. Oh, lawyers. Oh, activists. So they can... Opposition politicians and verified to have been present on devices associated with people close to Jamal Khashoggi before his murder. Oh. And here's what connects all of this to the story of the week. OpenAI's Pentagon contract, signed in February 2026, contains a clause stating that AI should not be used for what they call unconstrained monitoring of US persons' private information. The Defense Intelligence Agency's legal position is that commercially purchased data is not private information. The word unconstrained means that any single constraint makes the monitoring constrained. These aren't loopholes, they're the entire point. Because there's a war in Iran, I'm doing my thing now where I'm like, put it all together and like, but this is my belief anyway, because there's a war in Iran, they're able to leverage that to sideways around the human rights stuff, get access to these AI tools. And what can they do with the AI tools? They can listen to you on your phone. Because there's a war in Iran. National security now. We want the tools so that we can listen to everyone on their phone. I mean, earlier on, witness protection in chat was saying they were worried about being recorded in public. It's not tin hat stuff. It's not like, paranoid schizophrenic and I need to wrap my phone in tinfoil. If you don't want the things you're saying to be heard by... I mean, and again, there's not somebody in an office listening to you. It's not like they're listening to you. Oh, quick, press a button and let's listen to this person now and I want to listen to this person now. It's that it's been recorded and logged in some data center. The AI is going to use it and trawl through it for different purposes. It can be searched. Later on, at some point, you know, things can be used in evidence against you. Anything you say may be taken in evidence against you. Later on, someone could just pull up your record, not your record of things you've done that have been criminally prosecutable, but your record of everything you've said in not just the location of you and your own cell phone, but maybe your television and Alexa and someone else's phone and being in the car and anywhere in public and, you know, having it all recorded like that. And of course the AI system will be able to simply like, oh, he threw his phone away, but he went then to Tesco and like we followed him to Tesco and then from Tesco to that, it just your phone won't be the only device that can track you, you know. It's an enormous amount of data, yeah. It's an enormous amount of data. At the moment, I'm not saying that right now that's exactly what's happening. However, right now it is actually happening. It's about scale. The N-level scale of everyone being monitored consistently and it all being stored and searchable and, processable like that. Yeah, I think it might be difficult right now, but the access to the phones, the ability to, in a general sense, do that, completely being done for a few years now. The ability to buy the data at a more simple level of where you are on your phone, you know, your privacy element of that, those data points was legally protected, but they found a way around that. If someone else got them, then we could just buy them off them. That's all been fed into the mill. You know, it's all been fed into the system without your authority over it already. So cell phone location data, you can fundamentally say your location data on your cell phone is constantly being sold to these AI. I mean, I expect this sort of not out of this world to assume that AI, and it doesn't mean that like tomorrow a policeman can say, right, I want to know where you were on the 14th. It doesn't mean that yet, but the information is, I think it can store everyone's cell phone location data quite easily, probably. So yeah, between somewhere and somewhere, and we're talking about as well the future is that as these things get more sophisticated and as people's brains start being co-opted as memory storage space by the Matrix, that eventually, I'm sort of joking there, but maybe not. Eventually, though, all this information will be stored and saved, and as deemed necessary, used, won't it? So, mass internet and communication surveillance. I mean, that's the point of it. If it's being said on a phone, near a phone, it's information. It's a sound recording. It's a transcript. If you've used your phone, they know. It's recorded and logged, yeah? If you've asked ChatGPT to do something, it's got a list of what you've asked it. Everything's been recorded and logged, and it's complex, and it's lots of numbers and data, and it's unlikely that someone's going to go in a room and say, I want to know what Peggy did tomorrow, what she had on her chips, so let me use the AI to focus it, unless someone said to them, we need to know what Peggy's had on her chips, in which case they can say, oh, well, I can find that out right now. Like, it's about the surveillance, but you're being surveilled by the AI, so it's constantly watching, yeah? But it's different from a human oversight, isn't it, where a human's making decisions and looking, so you're constantly being judged, but at the same time, without any purpose. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Like, there will be purpose to it, but as long as you're not doing anything bad, it's just sort of watching you benignly. We used to think this was all about what shopping you're going to get, whether it's going to serve you an advert. But there's a lot more to it than that, isn't there, when you consider all these other things that they're doing? Constant surveillance. At the same time, isn't it accepted? Isn't it accepted that you're constantly being surveillanced on the internet? Like, aren't we all... I assume YouTube know what I'm watching on YouTube. A lot of these things, I would have predicted, if I was doing this stream, I wouldn't have been able to be doing this stream 20, 30 years ago because of the technology. If I was doing this stream 30 years ago, I'd have been like, this is a terrible future. All these things that are coming in, we need to fight against it so it doesn't happen. Now we're actually living in it and people just don't give a shit. Like, you go shops, yeah? You go shops. Yeah, you do. Are you on the CCTV? Yeah, you are. I go up the football. Am I on the facial recognition? Yeah, I am. Yeah. Do they know me? I don't know how much record they have of me on the facial recognition, but they've definitely seen my face on the foot when I've gone in the football. So yeah, I just you put ketchup, there you go, on your fries, there you go. But they'd know. Like, they'd need to know what you put on your fries because they sell you salt and they sell you fries and they sell you all that stuff. We sort of accept, don't we? I go shopping, I do my card, and it knows what I've bought. So it's got like this record of what I like to eat. And then like some weeks it suggests that chocolate soy milk can be done for cheaper for me. There's a discount on that, thanks. Oh, there you go then. Is that part of the wonderful future? Like, it needs to know everything about us so it can tailor the world to our needs, yeah? Big ups. Across data centers, it would be fragmented. By areas, it wouldn't be exhaustive. Some guy who looks like you goes through a tollway, your phone pings the same. Oh, does that make you a suspect? Yes. Yes, this is the problem. Like, if you've got, like, let's say, for example, the death penalty for bad crimes. Oh, that makes sense, yeah? But there have been people who've done bad crimes, and then it's turned out it wasn't them later. DNA evidence. They got it wrong. And as long as one person gets murdered through the death sentence that was innocent, we can't have it. Like, we're murdering innocent people then, just statistically. Oh, it's only 1 in 100 that we get wrong. Yeah, but it's 1 in 100 innocent people get murdered, so we shouldn't do it. If it was 100% and you weren't going to question it, like, there's no way this is wrong. This person's definitely done the murder. We've got them on video. Then the death sentence is fine, isn't it? Because they've done the murder. We've got them on video. So there's no getting this wrong. We're not going to say, whoops, we killed an innocent man or lady. But what if the AI system is fully confident in itself and it's made a mistake? But who checks the AI system? One of the things we should have been talking about more, maybe, but the whole point of this conversation is about oversight, isn't it? How do you know if it's right or wrong? Like, if it's making thousands of decisions an hour, how can I check those decisions? I'm just a human brain. I'm not very good at it. The reason we've got the AI is because it's better. I have to trust the AI. But if I'm trusting it and it's making mistakes, we're going to start killing innocent people. Like, a lot of these problems that we've looked at, we worry, what if it gets it slightly wrong? Slightly wrong with a drone swarm is pretty fucking destructive. Slightly wrong with the nukes is pretty destructive. Slightly wrong with the killer robot dogs. Slightly wrong with the facial recognition or your habits or behaviours in terms of your future predicted behaviour. Yeah, your social score. What if it gets it slightly wrong? Well, you're done then. You're like further down the spiral. You can never come back. You might as well keep sliding down that slope. Self-fulfilling prophecy in a way, isn't it? If it gets it slightly wrong there. But yeah, surveillance is being sold as a good thing. There are choices here. I think it's fair. It's only fair to accept that. Like, I mean, I've got a Ring doorbell on my house. There are some fucking weird people out there. Some people who can't control themselves properly, and surveillance is accepted as standard in our society now for our own health and safety, for our own good, because of the bad people. It very, very strange to think like this image on the left of the wonderful world of the future when everything's great and lovely and robots create abundance would be sort of backed by this sinister surveillance, constant knowledge of everything you do. But maybe that could manipulate people into behaving well. It's funny, isn't it? The weird thing about this, actually, the more it builds up like this, is to know that it is happening right now. You're on the internet watching this, therefore you're being part of it. You can't avoid your numbers going into the data. We're all part of society. As much as bad things happen, and we argue and discuss, the meme. Well, aren't you a part of society? So but yeah. This will throw it off. This is Robinson's Fruit Creations, but it's a blackberry and blueberry bottle, but I filled it up with the orange, with the mango. So that'll throw it right off. It won't know what to do about that. Does he like mango or does he like blueberry? Does it know that I've drunk all the blueberry? So I quite like that one, and now I'm onto the mango, and I'm just using the bottle. Does it know? Can it reason that out? Mass internet communication surveillance generally was seen as a bad thing when the internet came in as well, wasn't it? Do you remember there were people that were sort of, we should be able to use it anonymously and freely, and then there were people that used that anonymity to do horrible things. And I'm not just talking about trolling on the internet. There's some really mixed up people out there, like some really messed up people that do their trolling not in YouTube comments or in chats, like we've got with people in chat where people come and do a troll comment, but they do even more sinister things by establishing fake personas and even more sinister things as well, which I don't really want to go into, but there are some like abusive things that they do, and there are some young people that really suffer. So yeah, like the internet and secrecy, shouldn't we not have secrecy? Should we have everything above board? I don't know. Like you could end up like one of those bad people. Yeah. It's worth noting, isn't it, that there's not a straight answer to it. There's not like a this is right and this is wrong. We should definitely have surveillance on the internet, or we definitely shouldn't. Like there are points to be made on either side. With frogs being boiled, yeah. Do you think this is how people used sort of felt? Well, they didn't feel like this because they didn't have a stream or an internet or a television, but like in the Industrial Revolution and other times, the whale oil salesman. I always think about the whale oil because like that was an industry that like they used to have to go out and kill whales, get them on the boat, get them back to shore, and then render out all the fat, turn it into oil, and they use that oil to light the houses and whale oil. If you want to do your lights, like I've got LED lights, they had whale oil. And then obviously underground black gold, the oil, that came about. We started using that more, plastics, and the whale oil went overnight. It just like industry on its arse, which is good for the whales. Like it was a brutal, horrific industry. But all the people that used to do it, like they just saw their world change. Like all the people, imagine when electric lights came in. And you used to have to light a candle, and then now you just switch a light on. I think it was Edwardians, was it? Or was it Victorians? I think it was Edwardians. They used to sit around in their houses like with a bare light bulb at like 100 watts, just like, this is fucking brilliant. And nowadays you wouldn't consider just having a bare light bulb illuminating your sparsely furnished hovel, but back then, like, the fashion was just simply like, it's a light bulb, I'm amazed, so let's just have it. Like, the world changed very quickly in lots of different ways. I mean, it's constantly, technology, it is, but it feels like it's really, happening quickly now. The Jim Carrey thing turned out to be an actor, didn't it? And that's what I say, an actor just wearing a face mask, not a big conspiracy, just someone who wanted some publicity. But they turned it into a big conspiracy on the internet. It's not really Jim Carrey. It wasn't really Jim Carrey. But the reason it wasn't is because somebody who runs a business doing like makeup on the films wanted some publicity. Everyone wants a bit of time in the news. They want to be on social media, go viral. So they wanted some publicity. So there's money behind it. It's not because Jim Carrey's a robot or they replaced him or any of that. It's that the people who run those conspiracies, who want you to be caught up in that all the time, they see something like that and they jump on it as well. Everyone's got a spin for everything, haven't they? But it turned out to just be something really normal, like someone wearing a mask for money for a company that does masks. So just be careful not to throw yourself headlong down every rabbit hole. The reason I'm happy to talk about this stuff on stream like this is because it's facts. Yeah? Facts, not rabbit hole, not like conspiracy. I tend to debunk conspiracy unless if a conspiracy turns out to be real and I research it and have a good look at it and it turns out to be fair, then I will give it its credence. But I debunk things like flat Earth and other such things. And like I say, I think what they're used for is, it used to be that there was a group of people who were still disenfranchised politically. And those people would get together and they would sort of have protests against animal rights, against this sort of stuff, political. They'd get together and there'd be intelligent people who would have lots of ideas. And the reason that the conspiracies work on people is because you're a smart thinker, you're thoughtful, and you're looking at these patterns and seeing there's something wrong, but they give you the wrong answers. They want to lead you off. Instead of you being politically active for the right reasons, instead of you being effective, you become a deluded sheep like all the others, but you think you've got the answers and you're going on about flat Earth, and that's not getting anything done. It's not helping the world in any way, but you feel like you're really onto something. So it's being fed to you by the people that, like the elites that want to control you, are feeding you these conspiracy theories to keep you in that like madness world. So they have to be effectively, like, they can't be too mad. They have to captivate people's attention. There's been enough of them that have been debunked, but then they'll bring you a new one. So just be really careful. Just be really careful. I think that people that fall susceptible to that manipulation aren't bad people, and they can come out of it. Often they feel quite isolated because when they start talking about flat Earth or this thing or that thing, their families and the people around them say, "Oh, stop being so stupid," and then it's like they don't believe, they don't understand. I know the truth. That's a bit of an issue. So. Yeah, and I think that Jim Carrey thing really highlighted it. That wasn't Jim Carrey at the awards, no. It was a man who was dressed up and wearing a mask, and they revealed it later. A bit like a prank, a bit like Beadle's About. This sort of stuff is just entertainment. It's an entertainment world. It's Jim Carrey's an entertainer, and so someone dressed as him for an entertainment awards to see if they could hoax everyone. And they did hoax everyone, but in today's world, that means it has to be clones and psyops, and it doesn't. But the people that talk about that psyops and clones and stuff like that all the time, they latched onto it, didn't they? But the truth was that it was mundane. So there was a really good example of where they can spin a bit of a confusing conspiracy out of mundane things, and then instead of being an effective social, instead of that day sharing a positive message about women's rights or about violence against women, you shared a message about whether Jim Carrey was real at an award ceremony. And it's like sharing a message about what Gale's done on Coronation Street. It doesn't really matter. So that day, everyone who was concerned with Jim Carrey was a waste, was just, ineffective. So you've got to worry about the people that were serving you that stuff and saying about it, because they were trying to waste your time and waste ineffective people. You know, I think the stuff we're talking about here is a bit more real and on the ground than whether Jim Carrey was or wasn't was not at an awards ceremony. So that's a really good example of how these things, you know, like Flat Earth goes in that box, Tartaria goes in that box. So you've got to be really careful with it. Yeah. You know, I think I've given good advice there, I hope. But big ups. Nice to see you, Nancy. I am live. Have been all my life. I've got 2 more of these, and then we'll have a bit more chit chat and play a lovely song. I've done a really good song for this one, a really good song for this episode. So, and I'm having a good time. Happy that we've done this. Having a good time. Happy that we've done this. I've got another section that may or may not become a stream about psychological control as well. And of course, all these subjects that have come up because of chat, like, you know, if this episode's not about that, kind of is, isn't it? Kind of has got a conspiratorial vibe to it. But I have done episodes that are on this channel, strangely enough, about people who perpetuate that flat earth nonsense and my perceptions of it. So they're like this stream, just me chit-chatting and watching some of their stuff. But a lot of their stuff is nonsense and I debunk it. But then I'm careful, like I said at the end, to show some compassion and humanity, because I do think that I just explained it all. I think there are bad people trying to confuse the people. So, right. How about some biometric multimodal data harvesting? How about some biometric multimodal data harvesting? And I've got a picture here that probably looks like what that is, but I can't say for sure. In Xinjiang, sorry, my pronunciation. In Xinjiang, the Chinese government collects DNA samples, iris scans, voice prints, walking gait signatures, records of every app installed on residents' phones, and records of their electricity consumption, and uses AI to cross-reference all of those into permanent, unchangeable identity profiles. This isn't an allegation, it's documented by Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, again, big shouts out to Amnesty International, and multiple academic institutions. The UN has described China's actions in Xinjiang as potentially constituting crimes against humanity. BGI Genomics, the world's largest genomics company, was sanctioned by the United States in 2023 for its links to the Chinese military and its collection of genetic data from populations around the world, collected in many cases under the cover of medical services and COVID-19 testing conducted during the pandemic. That data under Chinese military civil fusion doctrine is accessible to the People's Liberation Army. In 2025, 23andMe filed for bankruptcy. The company holds the genetic data of 14 million customers. The question of who acquires that data as part of the bankruptcy proceedings and under what legal framework they will be permitted to use it has not been clearly answered. DNA data is permanent. It can't be changed like a password or obscured like a face. It links to biological relatives who never consented, and the AI systems that can cross-reference genetic vulnerability profiles with ethnic population databases already exist. The targeting infrastructure for a genetically aimed bioweapon is being assembled, piece by piece, from multiple directions simultaneously. Okay, so this one, again, it's a good thing, isn't it, that we collect genetic data? Isn't it fine that they have your DNA on file? You can find out you can find out if you really are one of the English patriots, or if you're not an original Celt, in fact came in as an invader from the Normans or the Vikings or the Romans or political. No, but you can, like, you know, keep these. You can find out about genetics of populations so that you can do good monitoring for health. If you give them your data, then they could tell you if you're going to be poorly in the future. There's good reasons for collecting genetic data, isn't there? But once it's collected, it's collected. Your eye, your thumbnail, your fingerprint, your iris scans, your voice prints, your walking gait. records of everything you've ever done on your phone. It's not a problem unless someone were to assemble a genetic bioweapon that was targeting specific genetics, and then you're all in the system there as like a database for it to use to target you. That would be bad. And like that stuff is sort of being built without the end bit of someone targeting you. No one's doing the targeting bit yet, but if they wanted to, they've got a system that could help them. Yeah, you say privacy is disappearing. I mean, we're talking about your DNA now. Have you ever been to the doctor and ever worried? No. That they're taking a swab? No. Like when you're getting a test done, when you go to the doctor, you know, and they want to stick a needle or run a swab, do a little biopsy or something, like that's a good thing. That's a good thing. You get your, tests done. You want to know, don't you? You want to know. In the future, will you have to worry about where that material? That's my genetic material, actually. Thank you. Will you have to worry about it? People don't worry. They spit on the street and all sorts. They cough without their hands over. I saw someone waiting at the bus stop coughing without his hand over his mouth the other day in 2026. People are happy to spread their genetic material. I'll spread some of my genetic material with you. Way. Happy to spread it. Maybe they should become more precious with it. Biometric DNA and multimodal data harvesting are in operation now, I guess. It's just the scale of it again, isn't it? The scale of it. And whether it's bad, that's up to you. It's another thing on your list of things about you that they know. I mean, we're not really into genetic operations, are we? We don't do much with our, knowing what you're, knowing that they know that. I don't know. Maybe it's not that bad, but they know it, I guess. I'm not a conspiracy, but do you know what I mean? Like, this is exactly what's happening. Is it's going on the list of things that are being recorded about you. Maybe this isn't one that people feel so personally worried about, but when you're talking about populations and stuff like that, when you talk about demographics and stuff like that, maybe it is a bit more of a worry. This one, and this will be where we finish tonight on this final one, I feel, but it's a good one. It's a good one. So if you stuck around, I should have said stick around to the end because you're going to get the best one at the end. I don't know if you can call this the best one, but it's a good one. It's loopy as well. When I found out about this, here we go. It's the kids. They're in school. Look, and what they do, you can't see the picture that well because there's all these other pictures in the way now. But they're all in school and they're living in an AI future. So what's happening is emotional recognition and affect detection AI. Ma, you come here. We're not messing with the door now. We're coming towards the end of this. The premise of emotional recognition AI is that a camera watching your face can determine what you're feeling. Whether you're afraid, aggressive, distracted, deceptive, or content. And it can report that to whoever's watching. Hikvision has deployed this in Chinese classrooms, alerting teachers in real time when students appear to be losing attention. Chinese workplaces have trialled it for fatigue detection in drivers and factory workers. Dahua, in 2023, released a specific tool designed to detect protest banners being unfurled at demonstrations. We talked about that earlier. The system identifies the physical act of opening a banner before it's visible. The scientific validity of emotional recognition AI is deeply contested. Emotions are complex, involuntary, culturally variable, and expressed differently by different people in different contexts. So an AI reading your face in a job interview, or at a border crossing, or in a classroom is making consequential decisions about you based on a model that may be fundamentally incorrect about what your face actually means. The EU AI Act, recognising both the unreliability and the inherent oppression of these systems, explicitly prohibits emotional recognition in workplaces and educational settings from August 2026. The EU have prohibited it. That prohibition applies within the EU. Outside it, the systems continue to be developed, deployed and sold. Within the EU, law enforcement exemptions are broad enough that the practical constraint is limited. The most chilling application is not the classroom or the workplace. It's the protests. The ability to suppress political dissent before it can fully form. That's what it says there. However, I mean, I talked about it a little bit. I mean, I mentioned the concept earlier of self-fulfilling prophecy. It's an old thing now. If you're told you're naughty, you turn out to be naughty, basically. You know, if the teacher has you down as a naughty one, hey you, I've got my eye on you, you're a naughty one. You're like, oh, I'm fucking, I feel angry that I'm being pointed at and I'm a naughty, you know, I'm going to do naughty then. If you're going to tell me I'm naughty, I'm naughty. Or if they sit you at the front and say, you can sit at the front, you're always very smart. I love the way you read really well. Then you sit at the front and you think, I read really good. I'll do some reading. I'll enjoy the reading. I'm more confident at reading. It helps you to become a better reader. Like, self-fulfilling prophecy is the thing you're told about yourself, you end up becoming. And it's a social thing that happens. So if the computer tells you that you're tired or you're angry or you're miserable or you're naughty, then you're going to get told off by the teacher. And if you've just got that sort of face, or if it's inaccurate, that's one thing. But even if it's accurate, it's still not a great thing to be judged by a computer system on your emotions and then have that judgment be fed through to whoever's authoritative to then attempt to adapt your emotions through their process. Like, essentially be told to tell you to cheer up. Do you remember when you're a kid and it's like, if you're not smiling, you know, I'll wipe that smile off your face. Like, these sort of things. Emotional response being targeted by AI and then fed through to an authority. And the authority's job, therefore, is to monitor your emotions because they can then affect them. That's pretty heavy, isn't it? That's pretty heavy. And that's been in since, I mean, we don't see it in our country, but in China, they've had that in since 2023. Workplaces, I mean, I get it. If you're in a truck and you're going to fall asleep, it's nice if the computer says, or, you know, if you're driving a train and you're asleep, well, the computer just let you because it's very easy to do. But if you're in a truck and you're falling asleep and then the computer says, oh, you look like you're tired, pull over, I get it. But if you just got a sagging face like I have because you're in your 40s, the computer says, you look like you're tired. And I'm like, I'm not, it's just my face. I'm going to be in trouble all the time at work. Get better sleep then, eh? That is spooky. It's spooky. And I don't know if in the utopia future, which is rapidly getting covered over by all this bad stuff that could happen, is happening. Not could, is happening. I don't know if the AI knowing how I feel, I mean, it could be a good thing. AI has a concept of my feelings. That, as a simple premise, could be a good thing. AI getting it wrong, bad thing. Always going to be a bad thing if AI gets it wrong. But it knowing my feelings, that could be okay. AI having an opinion on those feelings, feeding it through to an authority whose job it is to then adapt my behaviour and my feelings, I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe it could be really good though. Like, maybe I wouldn't feel so cross or upset sometimes because AI would be ahead of this. It's going to preempt what you think and feel, isn't it? It's going to know what you're going to do in advance. So the AI can be ahead of us and it can just say, oh, you were going to be feeling cross in about 3 minutes. You have a little sit down, you get yourself a cup of tea, you go walk the dog, do whatever, and you won't feel cross. And you're like, well, I didn't know I was going to feel cross. I might not feel cross. You're making me cross, telling me I'm going to be cross. And the AI is just like, listen, don't mess. I always get this right. And if I don't, then you're dead anyway, so it doesn't matter. You're going to feel cross, so do what I say, and you won't feel cross. And then you'll just have to just sort of trust it, won't you? Because it knows how you feel and what you're feeling and when you're going to, and it's predicted it, so might as well trust it. You might have a nicer life, not doing the things that make you cross. You know, there's a concept. You know, kids in the playground always running around screaming and getting upset and doing things. You know, kids are upset. They've got a face on and they won't tell you what's wrong. Well, the AI knows already, so it's just going to deal with it. Like, no more sad people, huh? Maybe that could be okay. On the other hand, maybe not, because like maybe human emotions are a little bit too complex, and maybe feeling sad sometimes is okay. I don't mind it knowing if I feel sad or happy and it being accurate. I do mind it feeding it through to some other agent or authority which is engaged in the adaptation of my feelings. Like I say, for the teacher to sit there and be given a notification, Scott's feeling sad in class, that could be brilliant. A teacher could say, hey, Scott, can I pull you aside? Is there anything worrying you? And then Scott could tell them, and then he could work it out. Oh, it could be brilliant. Another thing that could be bad, though, is if Scott just needs some time to like process his feelings, to get over it, and then to just get on with his work, and the teacher picks him out and brings him out, and they have to fucking discuss it, and it's a big thing, and all he needed to do was just get over it himself and like be a bit of a human about it. I don't know. You know, there's two sides to a story there, aren't there? So... And it's collecting your data is wrong. Collecting your data about your emotions. How do you qualify that emotional data? How do you quantify it? On a scale of 1 to 10, how sad are you? Judging by your face, your heart rate, your body temperature, and the things you've said and done every time, all over the entire life, which has been recorded. I mean, in the future, they'll have some very complex models of the humans that they're studying, won't they? That'll be interesting. I hope this has been interesting. If you found it interesting, then drop me a like, a subscribe, tell your friend. Even though we don't all agree with everything that we all talk about, we can be friendly with each other and nice, unless you're a racist, in which case I don't have much truck with that. You know, share this to help other people see it. If you like that sort of thing. Basically, that's what I'm asking of you. I'm very grateful for everyone that's a member, because financial stability and sustainability is important to me, like everybody else, of course. So that's the offer. Is I do the content. I'm very grateful for the members, for the super chats, for anyone giving me a tip on coffee.com. In fact, I think I got a nice tip on coffee.com, which I need to say thank you for, which came through when I wasn't live. Or I might have been live and it didn't come through. So I'm just going to quickly... say thank you for this. I'll play the song at the end. I got one 11 days ago from Kaz, was that it? Anyway, thank you for my most recent coffee tippers. Thank you very much for that as well. I appreciate that. Yeah. Personality test. There's a good intro. We used to do those personality tests. Could you imagine doing, you know, people taking your data, you're filling it in on the personality test, you're telling them what you're thinking, like all sorts of things though these days, aren't there? Like that people play on their phone. Do this test. It's all your data. Nature versus nurture. Yeah. I think socialization and sociology, and I love sociology. It was one of my favourite subjects. I did it at uni. I did sociology and studies in social psychology. I say did. I didn't get a degree at the end. I did 2 years and then I fucked off. But I did. You know, I was university educated. We can say that at least. And studies in social psychology. Yeah. I really, really like that stuff. It's moved on a lot as well. Do you know what's really interesting is you've got to keep up with it. I mean, I don't, because like, but if you studied it now, yeah, you'd still talk about like Bertram and Russell, and you know, you still talk about Cohen and people like that. But like those examples are now quite dated, and there's people that built on that work. So, like, I'm sadly a little bit of an ignoramus when it comes to that level, but it leaves there of something of interest for me to look at in the future. So, to catch up with the current trends in sociology, yeah, and it's all interesting to this, isn't it? Like it's all. Like I brought up a couple of concepts that I've, you know, out of my brain that I thought were pertinent. Like I'm sure there's a lot more that are pertinent to this sort of stuff. So it's interesting topics. It's the world of today. It certainly doesn't look. This world now with all these pictures doesn't look like that green utopia. It doesn't look like that picture at all. That's something I would say. I want to do my little I think I got a little bit about the final through line. Yeah, here. Almost none of this is coming. Almost all of it is here. Operational scaling, largely unregulated. The debate about whether we should build these things is largely over. The debate we're actually in now is about who controls them. So let's change the music quickly. The debate we're in now is about who controls them, under what conditions, and whether any of the safeguards being proposed are real or just words written into contracts that nobody intends to enforce. It's the world of today. It's the world of today. Mad, isn't it? Like some kind of sci-fi film that we're living in. And yet, the world still feels quite mundane and quite normal, doesn't it? Still rains. You still have to clean the mud off your boots. Right. Tesco hasn't got people sat at the checkout anymore, has it? You have to go through that face recognition scanner just to do your shopping. But otherwise, you know, it's the same stuff in my basket. It just costs 10 times more and is made of sawdust and cardboard these days, isn't it? Like, the quality of the food's gone down, the cost's gone up, but the process of me having to trudge around and do my shopping hasn't. Like, my life hasn't improved. Can't even talk to somebody at the checkout. I used to love talking to the ladies at the checkout. I always used to, I'm chauvinistic maybe. I always used to select my checkout based on who I wanted to talk to. Sometimes it'd be there's the nice lady and this nice lady, and I like them both. It's not that I just wanted to have sex with everyone. Sometimes it's just like nice ladies who I want to talk to. They can be men, talk to men. I wanted to talk to the night. Nowadays, you can't have a nice conversation with the same lady every time you do your shopping, can you? Took that away from us. Anyway. I've got no strict schedule that I'm on, but I will be back on stream, hopefully one more this week, maybe. And I'm working on videos behind the scenes. The Prince Andrew video is dragging. I hate editing it. He's boring. All the stuff about him, never ending. I've got to try and filter it into a digestible size. I can't just make my edit just keep getting longer because he keeps having news reports done on him. But yeah, so I'm working on 3 or 4 different videos at the same time now in the background. Something will come out in March. It was supposed to come out last week. It was supposed to be about Prince Andrew. You can understand that that's taking longer, which is why I'm now starting to produce 3 or 4 at the same time, so that if something changes, I can continue with another one. It's boring. It just means there will be videos on this stream, on this channel. There will be more streams. I'm grateful for your support. Thank you very much. Okay, it's time to play the song. It's time to play the song. Thank you very much. And I always sign off with the same: you be good, and if you can't be good, you're naughty. Don't be naughty. Being naughty is bad. Just be good. AI is going to come and kill you otherwise. It'll all be on record. All right. Thanks. Thank you. Here's the song. The song is a banger. You're going to like this. Stop. Here's the song. The song is an absolute banger.
I don't wanna be killed by a machine. I don't wanna die to AI. I don't wanna be chomped up by industries of hate. I just don't wanna be killed by an AI. Oh, I like the fields, I like the grass and sea and the sky. I don't like the grim idea of being killed by AI. Oh, I like the country roads, I like going for a drive. But I don't fancy the idea of being killed by AI. I don't wanna be killed by a machine. I don't wanna die to AI. I don't wanna be chopped up by industries of hate. I just don't wanna be killed by an AI. Oh, I like a simple life. Leave all cares behind. But I don't like the feeling of being watched by AI. Oh, I like a cake or two, sometimes a cherry pie. I don't wanna die to AI. I don't wanna be choked up by industries of hate. I just don't wanna be killed by an AI.